Hi everyone, it is the 14th of August of 2023, so I've already done one of these today. I've done Nintendo Power issue 220 today, and I have done my shopping I need to do. I've come back and I'm going to do another one of these. Now it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and this could take me a while because this is, as you might see at the bottom there, 209 pages. Now, one time I did one of these, there was 160 odd pages, and that took me 3 hours. So, Lord have mercy on my soul. This could take a while, and I'll need to get some food at some point. So, hopefully, I don't want to rush through this. I've got 3 drinks with me, so I'm gonna go on with it. Anyway, so what we have here is the official US PlayStation magazine. I don't think I've looked at a US PlayStation one yet. And, here we go. Here we go with the inability to move around. It is issue 39 from December of 2000. We have cool PS2 strategies for SSX, PS2 Madden, ESPN Track and Field, Tony Hawk 2, plus all the latest tricks. That's not a PS2 game, so is that separate from that? Anyway, did you get your PS2 yet? Got Gran Turismo 3, Twisted Metal Black, and the Bandicoot's Final Party, Crash Bash. We have some PS2 reviews here, and history of console launches. So they're going to be comparing it with the PS1, I'm guessing, and the demo disc. It's still very much in the PS1 era, but this is towards the end of the PS1. So, my Hoffman's Pro BMX, I had that. That's how I discovered Agent Orange. And 102 Dalmatians, which I had, but it broke after... well, it didn't so much break, but after the second level, it just didn't progress. For some reason. Anyway, this is $9 US and $12 Canadian. So, let's get on with it. And immediately we have Crash Bandicoot here, chilling in these waters. And these... camouflage soldiers. Now, Crash isn't very camouflaged, I must say. But Crash is ready for battle. Are you? So yeah, Crash Bash. Strange party game, 4 players. You take part in all these mini games. Eurocom. And oh, Best Buy advert. Let's have a look at this. It is December, so it is Christmas after all. We have these two. Look, they're playing the PlayStation 2. And they've got like pretzels and stuff scattered around, and a CD. Got a flat screen there. Well, it says flat screen. It's a Sony flat screen, of course. We have these two singing away, and he's not very happy, I don't think. Well, she's definitely not very happy. So he's chasing her, and this guy here is just want to enjoy his eggnog. And she's made some food for the family. And all the games to keep the holidays from sucking. Best Buy, turn on the fun. So I think they're saying, look, these two people here, they have a PS2, they're enjoying our game, whereas everyone else, right, they're being annoying, right? The kids are being annoying. I don't know about the grandparents, I don't know what their issue is. Anyway. Oh, another advert. You know, this isn't going to be too bad if there's so many of these double spray adverts. I say like 200 pages, but it seems to be going pretty quickly. Anyway, this is Fear Effect, is it not? Fear Effect 2. Never played it. I knew someone who was into it though. Oh. America's #1 game news and tricks. Only $149 a minute. Game Boy, action pack Game Boy. In a PlayStation magazine. Boomerang 64? What? Sniper for PS. They always have these like extra... oh, look at them. They're playing an N64 and you can tell they're hardcore because how they're swinging. Look, they're sat right next to each other, right? What if this guy here needs to turn left and this guy here needs to turn right? They'll both like knock into each other. We have a shoe. Shoelaces undone. DC shoes. It allows you to skateboard. Skateboarding at 2 AM? How long have you been sleeping? Okay. Oh, and another 2-page spread. So yeah, maybe the 209 pages isn't going to be too bad. We've got PS2 game. It's on the PS2 launch. What is it? Smuggler's Run? Deliver at all costs. This image here, I'm sure I've seen that plenty of times. Levels are over 5 square miles, each with a drive anywhere environment filled with other smugglers and law enforcement officials. Choose from 35 different vehicles, each with unique modification and strengths. And I've got the arrow here. It's the quest marker, effectively. And another one. Alright then. I'm guessing they're going to shove all these at the front. Etamus Maximus Pucamus. There's some. Oh, look at his face. Look at his mouth. Remember when this was top-notch graphics? Back in the PS2 days. I remember getting a PS2 and well, before getting a PS2, seeing a PS2 and thinking, oh wow, these graphics are amazing. But I thought that about the PS1 as well. And another 2-page spread. You have Death winning a race, a swimming race, a time splitters. I don't know what this is. Is that the level editor? I played the second and third one. I like the third one. Most people like the second one, but I like the third one the most. Yeah, so they're shoving lots of ads at the beginning. Hey. Just in case you didn't know, there's this magazine, the official US magazine, issue 39. It is 39, isn't it? Of December 2000. Just in case you haven't bought it. About our contributors. The official US PlayStation magazine is the only Sony Computer Entertainment America licensed magazine and is published by Ziff Davis Media Inc. Gran Turismo 3. Sam is an associate editor with Playboy.com, where he edits the love and sex section and writes about entertainment. Well then, you know what? I better take out my my Bluetooth earphones because the battery will be draining. Is this really the last time we'll see everyone's favourite Bandicoot? What happens next? Is he coming to PS2? Is he a washout now that he's a star at a theme park? We answer some of these questions and more in our in-depth looking at the making of a pop culture icon. Titan AE. Right. Contents. There's that word I forgot about when I was reading Nintendo Power. So, where are the contents? So there's the demo disc. This isn't a contents. This is an index. See? Oh no, wait, no, it is a contents because they're listed in page order. See, I remember that. Are they? 113, 124, 115, 113. And even go on this. Oh, hold on. No, but even then, PS2. No, it is index. It's an index because they're listed. Oh, they are listed in alphabetical order, but with the by each console. So previews and reviews. Look, it's Garnet. Oh, Armored Core 2. This was the second. This was the second PS2 game I ever got, which, I mean second/third, because I first got Tony Hawk's 3, and then there was one time when we went away to see some family, and when I was there at WH Smith's, I got Armored Core 2 and Dave Mirra's BMX 2. I think it's probably not as good as the first one, but I honestly can't remember. I mean, I really like the first one, but I think by the second one I just wasn't as into it. I don't necessarily think it's worse. I mean, it might be. Enter all new arenas to challenge over 45 menacing ACs. Yeah, you could manually like choose to fight an enemy AC and gain a rank, I think. But I remember I got to a mission where I didn't know how to progress because it was full of like small little like ant robots, and you couldn't use your laser because your laser was like your laser sword. That was the only way to have like attack stuff with infinite ammo. Otherwise you had to like, but because they were too low to the ground, so you had to shoot them. I remember getting like a machine gun with 1,000 bullets and just like shooting them off like one at a time, like 1 or 2 bullets to kill each one of them, and I just kept killing them. So I mean, looking back now, I'm thinking, okay, well obviously there's some other way to beat the level, but I was just trying to kill them and I couldn't do it. The Grinch. Yeah, I played this. Didn't really like it. Again, it was towards the end of the PS1 life cycle, and so it just felt, I don't know. It wasn't. It's one of those games where I only remember that. I remember being on like a snowy level, but that's all I really remember. Madden NFL 2001. See, I'm 11 minutes in, and I'm like 10%. Well, so okay, so now it says page of 194. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not too bothered about sports or non-playable demos. Muppet Race Mania. Players want to availability now. Oh. And then you have a link that you can type out into your web browser. And here, Power Spike Pro Beach Volleyball. And look, there she is, ready to win a volleyball game. Get distracted and Gabby Reese will hurt you with her dominant beach game. The crushing serve, the perfect pass, the lethal kill. Keep focused. Your dreams of Sydney, Acapulco and Rio could be history. There's a lot of sand to cover. The sun's blinding. You must play your game. Gabby will show you hers. Yeah, let's not forget that this is like things like Gabby will show you hers. This is the PlayStation magazine, so like the UK one, it probably is a bit of a lad's mag at time. And look at this, Rayman. Oh look, he's screaming. It's like saying look. Doesn't matter that you don't have limbs. It means you can go through the pole there. Rayman 2. I mean, I like Rayman 2. I know it's got a high. It was. I think it was received better than Rayman 1, but I don't know. I didn't like it as much. I enjoyed it, but it felt so different. Can't we get through one issue without referring to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? It seems that once again it must be done. The game that revolutionized skateboarding titles has inspired the good folks at Neversoft to take THPS engine, tweak it up a few notches and swap the skateboard with stunt bikes. Apply, oh you can't really highlight this very well. Apply and you stunt biking stars and you have Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. Most of the same rules apply here. Yeah, the main difference in gameplay wise was that from what I remember, like it is very similar, but one of the main big differences that I remember is that with a skateboard, you can effectively go forwards and backwards, and it doesn't really matter because the board is reversible. So you could like go in the air, not turn, or do like a 360 turn, but on BMX, you have to do like 180. You have to do like 180, or you can do 360. You can do a 360 turn, but then you have to do another 180. Otherwise, you land backwards. Like if you're going up a half pipe, or even just like up a ramp. So you've got some. You haven't got as much leeway in that regards. The Emperor's New Groove. Oh, MTV Sports Pure Ride. This writer is going to let you make your own intro for MTV Sports. Pure Ride. Just combine the following words and phrases. Snowboarding, Britney Spears, TRL, hip hop soundtrack, extreme, shredding the white stuff. Death of Rock. Alright, Big Air. Wasn't that fun? I don't get it. Anyway, look. Also available on N64, Dreamcast, and Sketches, as it turns out. No. Sketches is just part of the brand, I guess. Look at this. The evolution of Rayman. Right? Something tells me that there's a stage missing here between 3 and 4. I feel like we should see a bit more detail as to what happened here. That's what I think. Okay. Oh, another double page spread. Crash and Bash. Supercharged. Play off-road. Smoke. So this looks like an interesting game. Tyco RC. And for a second I was thinking it looks a bit like Roll Cage. It does look a little bit like Roll Cage, but it's not quite. Oh, they've got like lightning weapons there. Supercharge your vehicle with a turbo injection of hyper speed energy. So maybe that's like a charge, I don't know. Oh, well, it looks like there's some sort of explosion there. Oh, smoke your opponent in battle mode. One of 5 hair-raising modes to play, so there is some sort of battles going on there. Boston. I still feel like we're sort of in the introductory stages to this one. It's strange. I don't know. A $600, 105 decibel Dolby Digital system for the PlayStation 2 sounds like overkill. Cool. You know, I've never... No, actually, no, I say never. That's not true. When I had a PS2, I got the Soundstation 2, which... it was... Obviously, it was like a stereo thing, but it was like a PS2 accessory. So you had the main one, which had the bass, and you had like 2 smaller speakers. And I remember like spacing them out a bit, so I had a bit of like surround, like a little bit of surround sound rather than just my TV. But these days, I can't watch anything or can't do anything without headphones. Like I have to have headphones all the time. Oh, there's Vivi. Letter of the month. Tragedy has struck again in the heartland of America yesterday. Armed with various Guardian forces and other weapons, 2 teenagers went on a killing spree in a small town high school. Hold on. The rampage began when 2 17-year-old boys, James Dobson and Mark Turner, entered the cafeteria of the high school they attended and unleashed the Guardian Force Ifrit upon 100 of their unsuspecting classmates. As horrified students ran in various directions to get away from the fiery onslaught, Dobson and Turner pulled out weapons called Soul Reavers and began to slay those unfortunate enough to not get near them. This is basically... Okay, you see... Students' cries of Pikachu Go and I Choose You Blastoise, yeah, not PlayStation related. When I heard one of them call out their Pikachu, and you have Guardian Forces, and so you know they've got Final Fantasy VIII and Pokemon and Soul Reaver. How many more have to suffer before games like Final Fantasy and Pokemon are no longer accessible to impressionable kids? Please write your congressman and encourage them to support a ban on all video games so that our kids can grow up to be happy, well-adjusted people, just like those in their parents' generation. You can make a difference and prevent any more of these tragedies from occurring. The Parents and Teachers Video Game Violence Council. Right, so this is are they going to respond to this? Right, now, okay, this... So this is it's like, I don't know what to make of this. It's like they're parodying the idea like, oh, games cause violence, and like, oh yeah, it's kind of like people say, oh well, how come I've never seen any plumbers jump on turtles in that case? They're sort of mocking it. Say like, oh, aren't they silly for thinking games cause violence? But at the same time, it also sounds like they're mocking like a school shooting, and that's not good. I mean, how long after Columbine was this? A few years, maybe? Even still. I don't really know. Fantasy versus reality. So, this is the letters I like this. I'm a very huge and devoted fan of Final Fantasy, and I think FF7 and FF8 couldn't have been better with Square's futuristic side world idea. One other thing that bothered me though, why the hell are they going back to the old ways? So what if it's the last one for the PS? It doesn't mean it has ended. Last time I checked, Sony has come out with a very popular rectangular black and blue console with a cheesy name that's also supposed to have the FF series. So this is This is before. Hold on. When's this? October 2007. Oh, no. Hold on. That's the wrong one. This is December 2000. So the game would be out at this point because it came out in 2000. I got it on day of release. I think it was the first game I got on day of release, and it was quite strange. It was strange to me because I was getting into Final Fantasy at this time, and I was used to 7 and 8. And in those games, the systems are built up so that each character can use any ability, except apart from limit breaks, any character can use pretty much any ability based on like how you set them up and what you equip them with and all that. So that was like a thing of those games. And then when it got to 9 and it was like only Vivi can use black magic and everything was very like set in its ways, each character set in their ways, it was strange because I wasn't used to that from Final Fantasy. Right, look at the damn character names. Zidane, Amaranth, sounds like the chemical vitamins listed on the back of Lucky Charms cereal box, and I can't believe they took out limit breaks and replaced them with some cheap and crappy special hit technique. Come on, nothing beats Cloud's Omni-Slash or Squall's Lionheart move. I'm going to have to wait for your reviews on this one because I do trust all you crazy but smart editors living it up playing games for a living. I may buy this game only because I'm a collector of Final Fantasy, but when I buy it, I'm pretty sure I won't like it. It's fine. I mean, I would rank the other ones higher, but still, I had a lot of fun with it. And when it came out, I had a lot of fun with it. And generally, I rate it as a good game. Right. Poor misguided exchange describing FFX as a throwback is a bit unfair. Why? Because FF9 features all the elements that have made Final Fantasy such a great series. Superior storyline, deep battle systems, strong character development, excellent graphics, incredible music. And in many ways, FF9 represents... Strange that they carry this over here. Then several stops forward for the series despite its medieval setting. Check out this month's review. Then run out and buy this game. You won't be disappointed. Focus on games, not girls. Okay, let's see what xdanx2 at AOL.com has to say. I've been reading your magazine for a good while now, and in many issues I see letters from girls complaining that companies have no focus on them, but I totally disagree with what they are saying. They say companies should make games that they can enjoy and have them... They say companies should make games that they can enjoy and have them not be sissy. But I would like to know what that really is. If males and females can enjoy the same kind of TV shows or movies or books, why not the same kind of games? I don't know what could stop anyone from liking games like Final Fantasy series or, in my opinion, the Suikoden series. I can understand girls not enjoying sports games if they aren't sports fans, but that's only one of many different genres. Now don't get it wrong, I totally encourage more females to play video games, for I enjoy games very much. But don't say companies do not care about you playing their games. I'm sure that's not the case. I think the industry tries to make the best games possible, and the game should be given a chance, even if you think it's a guys only type of thing. Okay, so I'll give my hot take on this. It's not necessarily that game companies are thinking to themselves, oh, we're going to market this to guys all the time. I mean, they might be. It's not that they're thinking, oh, we can't let girls play this. Rather, it's that there are going to be things that are going to put women off the games that they don't think about, because they're men and they don't think about things the same way. So, for example, like an example I saw in another magazine was about how, like, Lara Croft is often sexualized, and they were saying that, like, they don't like that. Like, this person who was writing in, she was saying that she didn't like that, and I totally agreed. I was like, like, that really bugged me as well. And I think if they simply had more women on the team to like contribute ideas, it's not that anyone's thinking to themselves, oh yeah, let's make this a man's game or a woman's game or anything. It's just that if you had more diversity on the teams making the games, then the natural results of that, like the ideas that they would collectively come up, would be such that they cater to a larger audience. So that's how that works. Anyway, let's see what the response is. There are two schools in thought when it comes to girl gamers. Some feel that developers need to create specific titles that appeal only to females, often resulting in direct, like Barbie digital makeover. Yeah. But others, and we're more firmly in this camp, believe that publishers need to do a better job of reaching out to new audiences with the games they're already making. Through advertising and marketing, publishers need to get the word that gaming is for everyone, and not just the slinky gaming is fun for a girl or boy. We're pretty sure that many women would enjoy some of our favourite games if they just give them a chance. Yeah, totally. I think you're spot on there. Strange but true. We're not kidding, folks. This is an actual letter. Thank goodness Tiff didn't include a picture. The scan isn't good enough. I can't read that. Oh. Well, see, I was on that for a while, wasn't I? But it was my favourite part, the letters that people write in and all that. And here we have some nice early 2000s fonts. It's a motocross game. If you want to play it safe, take up tennis. But if you want sick freestyle Moto X action, get Freestyle Motocross McGrath versus Pastrana from Acclaim Max Sports, with two of today's hottest supercross and freestyle motocross riders taking on 9 levels, over 30 insane tricks and balls-to-the-wall racing action. One thing that they like to do in these game adverts, I've noticed, is they just like to say numbers. So they might say, like, they'll say numbers. It's like, say you've got like a puzzle game. They'll say something like, over 25 mind-bending puzzles. Like, that's their marketing thing. But like you could say 10 levels. A game could say 10 levels, and another game could say 100 levels. But like 10 levels of, like, ukulele, for example, is 5 levels. 5 levels. And you could have another game that's like 80 levels. And it doesn't really, like, the two, you're comparing apples to oranges. Some more letters here. Oh, so they have a screen caption contest as well. So, oh wow. So as well as Nintendo Power, okay, every month we run a pick, and it's your job to come up with witty captions that make us laugh so hard our heads fall off. Email your captions to that address and mark the subject caption tag contest. The new contest picture should be just the thing to get those creative juices flowing. Okay then. So the winner of this contest said, damn last requests. Ah, get it, because it's a sexual thing. And next month is this. So so again, like, Nintendo, it was very like light-hearted and comical, but this is obviously made, like I've said before, it's more of a like a lads mag, so they're gonna be a bit more lewd, I guess. So I kind of don't want to come up with a caption, but let's see. Okay, here's an idea. Let's see if I can come up with captions that are like opposite of what they're after. So something like nice and wholesome. So this one, it's difficult. It's difficult. This one can be they they warned me if I did squats that the lizard men would show up. Nonsensical. Nonsensical. Absolutely nonsensical. And next month, I've been waiting for the right person to come along to give it to. So, this one can be, my face when I find an heirloom in the attic. There you go. There's some nice humble, wholesome captions. Okay, I'm just scrolling up. I just saw your idea stinks, Vivi. Ha ha ha. Get it? Stinks. Oh ho ha ha ha. What? Flatulence never fails to be funny. Perhaps there needs to be more of it in video games. Vivi. Your idea stinks. Vivi. Haha. Get it? Stinks. Ho ho ha 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 he. Right, headcase. I went to Senator Lieberman's webpage, and one of his press releases he refers to M-rated games as potentially harmful. I don't know about you, but the only way I could harm myself with a violent video game is to physically beat myself with the CD case. Oh, see, that was a joke I used to... There was a joke that me and a friend from the childcare centre used to make up, which was that someone said that Pokemon cards are good because they can deal damage, and our joke was through paper cuts. Because the thing is, we were into like Pokemon and all that, but I think I asked this kid, like, why are Pokemon cards good? Like, what's good about them? And he said, because they can do damage. That was a weird one. That was a weird laugh as well. That was more like a cackle. Hear the wow difference. Hear the wow difference? Oh, wow by SRS. Whoa. Is that PS2 controller on a PS1? I think it is. Oh. Hasn't got any of the markings on. How strange. I think that's kind of like one of my what's it called? Like sayings, like catchphrases. How strange. Anyway, oh, I've got some more. Got some more letters. All right. Any that's interesting? Tekken 2 predicted a fashion craze. You know, those half-length capri pants girls seem so fond of. Well, in Tekken 2, Jun is wearing such pants. Well, before the craze took off, give it to the folks at Namco to not only be the forefront of gaming, but on the cutting edge of fashion. Here's a pic of Jun from Tekken 2, which came out way back in 1996, long before the whole capri craze got hot. I don't know what that is. Well, Namco may have kick-started this fashion trend, where glad some of the other styles like Paul's goofy haircut never caught on. We've got some artwork there. Right. Quick hits. What is this? Every day PlayStation gives... Oh. So this is like short ones, I guess. Quick hits. Every day PlayStation gives happiness to the family. Happiness to the family. It's not just a game system. PlayStation is a friend, a brother, and I might be a teacher. Yes, of course I'm going to get a new best friend on October 26, 2000. Its name is PlayStation 2. Also, this has just come out, hasn't it? So the PS2, this is December, I think. So the PS2 would have just come out. Hope it brings more happiness. Misspelling happiness again. To the family, thank you for da-da-da. Who says money can't buy happiness? Your letter gives us much happiness. You are our friend, our brother, and maybe even our teacher. And driver too. The wheelman is back. Dun dun dun. Oh, power to the poultry. Chicken Run. I like the film. I couldn't understand the game though. I sort of walked around and wasn't able to do anything. I like the film though. I watched it at the cinema. Wild Wild Racing. So, presenting the ultimate off-road racing game for PlayStation 2. It's an off-road racer that does things no other racing game has done before. Such as... Wild Wild Racing is the supreme gem of Sony's non-crowded launch lineup. Wild Wild Racing is one of the few games that showcases what the PS2 can do. Okay, I've never heard of it before. Skateboarding? It's just called skateboarding. Andy McDonald. No, I was thinking, did I make in 2002? Did I make a skater called Andy McDonald? No, I think it was David McDonald. Just, yeah. You can't defy gravity, but you can, however, taunt it a little. So yeah, that's weird. Oh, it includes these bands: Deftones, Cypress Hill, Pennywise, System of a Down, OPM. There's probably Heaven is a Half Pipe. Snapcase, Goldfinger, Pilfers, Noise for a Name, Flashpoint. Goldfinger, the probably it probably wouldn't be Superman or Spokesman because Tony Hawk's have those. So I imagine the Goldfinger will probably be Counting the Days. But what's System of a Down song? I'm guessing Counting the Days. What System of a Down song would work on a skateboarding game? Because they had Shimmy on Tony Hawk's 4, but that wasn't out yet. At this point, I don't think. No, it wouldn't have been. So they had Shimmy. And this was 2000, so they only had the first 3 albums would be out. Prison Song, maybe? Anything from Steal This Album? I don't know. I-E-I-I-O. Rated M for minor. Whoop. Got a little comic here. Mommy, can I get blood drinking hell, guys? Huh, what does this big M mean? Here in the corner. Monkeys? Well, there's certainly nothing wrong with monkeys. Hey, wait a second. You don't kill these monkeys, do you? Rated M for minor. New government studies revealed marketing of violence to children. Oh. Aftermath of the massacre of Columbine. So this is they are acknowledging Columbine at this point, and not the controversy, but the whole, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but the whole like furor that kicked off, and they started blaming games, didn't they? So I imagine, because this is a gaming magazine, this is going to be very much on the side of. Oh, well, they blame, at least from the reader side, it's going to be, oh, we blame games, they blame games, but games aren't to blame. Games are good, actually. Whereas I suspect this magazine's going to be like, well, we're talking about games, so this is news, basically. So we're just telling you the news. Election year posturing have combined to bring the marketing of violent video games to centre stage. Yes, I'm not going to... Democratic presidential candidate Al Gore and his running mate Joseph Lieberman served notice that if the industry fails to police itself, the government will. And that has become more of a case in recent days. That's become more of a case with the loot boxes with gambling. Of 118 M-rated games, 83 targeted children under 17. The FTC said there were a few even marked as children as young as 6. I'd be interested to know what they could be. We believe that this is a serious matter for our country, and we are delivering to the industry a 6-month deadline to adopt voluntary standards and real enforcement mechanisms. So was this around the time, did the ESRB like kick off at this time? Like, did it start at this time? Is the ESRB like a response to the controversies from before? Hey, look at this. Republican presidential nominee George W. Bush, the governor of Texas, bemoaned the targeting of children for violent material as well. But unlike Gore, his call for self-regulation by the entertainment industry did not include a threat of government intervention. Yeah, so it's interesting, isn't it? Like, this is the sort of the fact that they're talking about it in this magazine shows that, at least to me, demonstrates that they see their audience as somewhat a bit more adult, I suppose. But then again, that's probably down to the fact that PlayStation as a brand, at least like in the 90s, sort of targeted itself more towards adults. Anyway, cutting your PS2 hopes in half. Oh, with Buzz reaching a steady droning hum, Sony dropped the second cruelest word, no, not the dreaded delay, on those salivating of the upcoming PlayStation 2 shortage. The original plan to ship 1 million PS2 units for October. The October 26th launch has been cut in half due to a shortage of materials necessary to manufacture items. Also, the price is probably going to go up then. I say as if it's in the future. The price probably went up as a result of that, but number of units week beginning, so they're gonna so that's like a graph of the previous sales. And Weapon X, some Wolverine thing. Whatever you did last night, I guarantee that you had a better day than I did. Overheard. Oh, Kaz Hirai. Oh, that's Kaz Hirai. I remember Kaz Hirai. Is he the one that went Ridge Racer at 2006? I think so. The most obscene and dastardly game devised by the video game industry appears to be its intentional deception of the American people. Ooh. That may sound melodramatic, but how else can I describe the apparent scheme to undermine the industry's own rating system? According to the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, the video game industry strategically targeted children under 17. The motive? One can only assume an endgame of maximising profits while pacifying lawmakers eager to pull gory games off the shelf. I have to say, when I was in secondary school, the first few years or so, this is when I first really got into Final Fantasy, but I had some friends who were like really into GTA. Like, I'd played the first one, but they were really into like GTA, San Andreas and Liberty City and all that. And people, like, we would have been like 13, 14 or so at the time maybe, and they were talking about I mean, it might just be because I was into it, but they were talking about Final Fantasy as if it was like, oh, that's for children, therefore that's like for younger than us. But GTA, which was rated 18, that was treated as if it was just like normal, like, yeah, this is like for our group. So I think there is a lot of I mean, I don't know how it is now. I don't know what the kids are like these days, but I know back then there was like an actual appeal. Like, people saw an 18 rating, like 14-year-olds, they saw that as something to appeal to them. Like, it was something that drew it to them, that drew them to it, because in their mind it added this level or this sense of, oh, it's forbidden in a sense. So that sort of that sort of attracted them. They blamed mental illness after all. Pops later told me his son had been grappling with mental illness and had been hospitalised several times, surprisingly 36 hours after the attack. Pops made no mention of Resident Evil. Right. I mean, that's a whole other can of worms, isn't it? Anyway, turn the page. Is this a double page spread? It is. Yeah, so I'm getting the feeling that this 209 pages isn't going to be too bad. Total Carnage. Star Wars Demolition. Oh, and another one. Tokyo Game Show. And Tomb Raider Chronicles. I never had that one. It was the only one on the PS1 that I did not have. And Kanabi here. Broken Iron Boo. This was before the big embarrassing one. ZOE or ZOE. Again, that's another game where I've seen it mentioned, but I don't think I've seen. Oh, Zone of Enders. That's what it is. Zone of Enders. Yeah, I've never actually seen it being played. Anyway, Sony, they've got that Dark Cloud. Unfortunately for us, Sony decided to only demonstrate a few scans with their upcoming products at TGS. The display was the latest version of Gran Turismo 3. Yeah. Sony's RPG Dark Cloud looked pretty stellar, as usual. The only other big PS2 game on display at the booth was a new title by the name of Skygunners. I had the demo of Dark Cloud. It came on the PS2, like the demo with the PS2, and I sort of played it, and in my mind it was like, oh, this is sort of like Azure Dreams in a way. I had that feel, and because Azure Dreams is a game that I loved, I was really interested in Dark Cloud, but I didn't really get it. I didn't get it until the PS4 download was available. The PS4 version was available, and I liked it, and there were certain things about it I really liked, but I didn't think too high of it. Let's not compare it to the sequel. Oh, I'm talking a lot and I'm talking fast. I'm gonna drink some of my smoothie. I've got 3 drinks here. I've got a smoothie. I've got some Pepsi Max Cherry, and I've got a bottle with Citrus Oasis mixed with water. But looking over here, Namco, yeah, Klonoa 2. Klonoa 2 also came on that demo. Tecmo. All right, and Takara. Churro Q Games. Oh, Penny Race on the PS1 it's janky, but I really like it, and it's by Takara. Means they've got brilliant music. I don't know about the PS2 ones. I imagine it being like Crash and Spyro, where it sort of went down in quality. And what is this? Enix. And Koei. Or Koi, however you pronounce it. Not quite Dynasty Warriors yet, at least. Maybe Dynasty Warriors 2. Enjoy hours of non-linear gameplay in Harvest Moon Back to Nature. Oh, look! Comic Sans. Oh dear. That doesn't look very good. So, mating games, what? The site of TGS, so here we have some cosplay. Oh, we've got a little comic there to look at in a moment. I've dated this smart, sexy woman 2 or 3 times. Everything's cool. Then she drops the bomb. People who play video games are so pathetic. Since honesty is the most important element of a relationship, and since my PlayStation sat 2 feet away when she said this, I decided to come clean. I'm a pathetic video game player, but only sports games, only in season usually. Oh, we cried, we laughed, we moved beyond it, and then I got to thinking, could playing video games put romance on the rocks? I asked a friend, a designer for a big advertising firm, what he would think if a girlfriend spent hours playing video games. It's fun to play against the person you're dating, plus you can make it interesting by playing strip games. Ooh. Every round you lose, you take off something. PlayStation as foreplay. Nice. Okay then. When I broadened my research, the outlook for romance got bleaker. A screenwriter insists a PlayStation would result in mortal combat with his wife. My currently wonderful marriage would be on the rocks. My wife absolutely cannot fathom or stand regular video game playing. A product buyer buddy confessed that many women he dated either despised video games from not being good at them or not understanding them, or have simply dismissed them. She'd be annoyed, he said. Her verdict, adolescent, not worth my time. There's probably a lot of this, like the whole culture surrounding games probably has a lot to do with that, rather than the games themselves, I imagine. Because when I was a kid, like back in these, like this is 2000, so it was gaming was mostly seen as like a boy thing still. And I didn't know many other girls that played games at the time. I knew a few, but not too many. But that's changed a lot. But before then, when I was really young, like 4 or 5 or whatever, even among boys, gaming wasn't that popular. It was seen as like a geeky thing. So I don't know if that's like a times thing or whatever. But anyway, sorry honey, before I pledge you, I'd like to finish the next level of Final Fantasy 23. That's it. It's either Lara Croft or me. Make your choice. Lara from Tomb Raider 1 or Lara from Tomb Raider 4. Sound of suitcases being packed and doors slamming. Yeah, I mean, that is, I mean, the whole, like I said before, the whole sexualization of Lara Croft and all that is annoying. But anyway, let's read our Penny Arcade comic. Right. A new study shows links between video games and violence. Or something. You know, whatever. Another report released from My Pants just a moment ago has deemed my wang massive, sturdy and fearsome. Ladies, I'm talking to you. Hold on. So, we'll look through that again. So what he's saying, what the writer of this is basically saying is that, oh, the study showing the links between video games and violence is ridiculous. Look, it's just like this other thing that's ridiculous. Was Penny Arcade the one where they addressed Jack Thompson directly and it was like, you don't fuck with us? Like it came off across as really threatening? Was that Penny Arcade? Or was that Control-Alt-Delete? I think it was Penny Arcade. But look at this horrible picture. Look at this. Minor blisters earned during 8-hour marathon. Where fingerprints would be if controller wasn't gripped so hard. Friction burn. Like, oh look, I'm such a hardcore gamer. Is that what this? Hold on. Oh, so that's what happens if you play this game, is it? The game is in 2D. The robot was font. The pain isn't. It's the epic story of good versus evil in classic 2D. You are hero you, I don't know. In your first video game ever. Your job? Use your powerful wing Gundam to protect humanity from the sinister giant mobile suits. This is something that game magazines used to do, is they'd have like these images, right? And it'd be like, what game could this represent? And it would be like, oh, obviously this is advertising Gundam Battle Assault. Like you'd never know. And Oni, that's another game I've seen the box of that. I've never seen it being played, I don't think. Darkstorm, $9.99. That's cheap. It's interesting for a game to come out that cheap. 8 playable characters and 32 environments. See, here we go again. Just numbers. More than 200 enemies and interactive characters. Over 100 enemies. What? More than 200 enemies and interactive characters. Over 100 enemies. Am I missing something here? More than 200 enemies and interactive characters. Over 100. Okay. So there's more than 200 of the collective of enemies and interactive characters, of which over 100 of them are enemies, in which case there are less than 100 interactive characters. What a weird way to phrase it. More than 30 types of weapon and 32 different spells. Complete camera controls, zoom in, zoom out and rotate 360 degrees. It's just numbers. It's just, oh, go on 1,000 different quests and shoot 29 different bullets. And see, this is $9.99. So there must be, I think, Spec Ops. Ah, right. Yeah, I had someone give me, I think I had a couple Spec Ops games on the PS1 that weren't copied. I didn't play them though because I didn't care about them. But I think my granddad got us them, and they were just. So maybe There were some like late PS1 games that came out just on the cheap. I don't know. I totally forgot about that. Oh. Oh, would you look at that. The Shaq attack is back in 3-on-3 NBA hoops. Midway latest over the top board, crashing, high flying, parkway, I don't know how you pronounce that word, masterpiece for PlayStation 2. I don't know why he's sticking his tongue out. Is it just to be gross? Or to be provocative? Anyway, NBA ham. I don't get it. Shaq Daddy, the OPM sit down. So there is actually, just to point out, I noticed there's a difference between there's PSM and OPM. And I think they changed it at some point. So there's PlayStation Magazine and Official PlayStation Magazine. So PSM, PlayStation Magazine, OPM, Official PlayStation Magazine. Anyway, I'm not too bothered about this. What does Kobe mean to you? Kobe is a vital part of the 1-2 punch. I'm glad I have another dominant player on my team in this game, in this industry. It's key to have someone else who can dominate. Didn't he die in a plane crash or something? Am I remembering that correctly? Anyway, look at this. Take this moment to stretch. I mean, okay, so if this page here wasn't in the way, right, and you closed the book, this guy's tongue would be between this guy's legs, near enough, right? Probably coincidence. Anyway, what game even is that? Is that Theme Hospital? Does it even say? I think it's Theme Hospital. It's by Titus. Incredible Crisis Severe Fun. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, we've got Digimon and more basketball stuff. Anyway, Digimon, Digital Monsters, caution, may not be suitable for people who suck at video games. Digimon World. Well, that game was just... this was so I just did not understand this game at all. My brother describes it as, you go to the training area, you do a few things, and then they die. And that was definitely like my experience. Oh, Final Fantasy IX. Look at this. Improved battle system. Well, improved. All new characters. Yes. Endless adventure. It does end. Improved battle system. Countless interactions. You can count them. Amazing CG cinematics. Cinemas. Which would be considered amazing, I guess. But I actually... it would have been this was US Magazine, but a bit of a story. My first exposure to seeing Final Fantasy IX was in a magazine. I think it was just before it came out. And they had some screenshots. And I think it was this screenshot here, which is Improved Battle System. I think it was this one. And when I saw that, my first thought was, oh, there's 4 characters in a battle. And to me that was like, oh wow, that's a brand new thing that's like for this new game. Of course, I didn't realise that it had only been 3 characters since 7. But yeah, at the time it was like a brand new thing. Anyway, what is going on here? So they're talking about... Oh, so this is like submissions, I guess. A late stage of votes for everyone's favourite Mudokan couldn't save Abe from being pushed off the PS2 island in the narrowest vote yet. So this is basically... hold on. PS2 Survivor. So this is based on Survivor, like the show Survivor. Hold on, I'm going to have a drink. This is based on the TV show Survivor. And they had to vote like each edition they have to vote off people from different tribes. So they're treating it like the TV show, I guess. Right, anyway, Lara's the only one left from the Shaka Dula tribe, and the Dodongal tribe still has 3 of them. So are they voting here? The Rock has to defend his title at the pay-per-views. How is he supposed to do that when he's on the island? On this island, hey, I'm doing this one for you, Rock. You'll thank me later among the millions of your fans. So what's The Rock got to do with this? Is he... Oh no, The Rock there. Okay. So The Rock... But he's not a game character. I mean, I suppose... If you're thinking in terms of... Like wrestling games, maybe? I know Lara will probably end up winning this. A girl can dream, can't she? Lara has the guns. She has the survival skills. And she has the talent that doubles as flotation devices in an emergency. Call it female jealousy if you must, but Claire is everything Lara is without the 2 moons. But Claire's voted off there. So are these... Hold on. So these are from the last ones, I'm guessing. But Claire and The Rock have both been voted off. So were they both in last time? If Crash can survive toxic waste sewers, the Antarctic, with his freezing cold temperatures, warping through time and saving our planet, then he's the PS2 survivor to lead us to a new world. Yeah, but you could say that about other characters, couldn't you? You could say, well, Gex goes through all the different channels, and Spyro also goes through different worlds, and Lara goes through different areas anyway. A world ruled by destiny. That's a game that I don't remember the name of. There's a Summoner. Is it Summoner? It might be Summoner. Oh, is this a continuation on? Summoner. Is this all part of the same thing? Oh, so that does that like open up? Summoner. Right. What's up with RPGs? So they seem to have a lot of the fan submissions in this one. Right, so this is Chris Gore. Let's see what he has to say. I don't get it, and I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I don't understand the appeal of role-playing games. Why is a game filled with swords, sorcery and elves so much fun to play? Personally, I love all kinds of games. Fighting games rule. Sports games are open. I'm awesome. I'm a huge fan of shooters, and I find good puzzle games to be as addicting as Jolt Cola. Action-adventure games like Tomb Raider, Spyro, and Dino Crisis kicks ass. And nothing beats the thrill of speed from a great racer. But role-playing games, I just don't get. I am, however, one of the many gamers who got caught in the hype and bought Final Fantasy VIII, even though I had never really played an RPG. The cinematics looks fantastic and I like the sci-fi story. I figured that this was an RPG I could actually get into, since it seemed to be devoid of the elves that always seem to populate these types of games. Plus, I saw ad after ad in magazines on television, so like a lemming I picked it up. You walk around and find stuff, talk to people, and then, oh, here we go. And then when you fight, you have to politely take turns, as if that would happen in real life. I read more than a ton of text, and I still couldn't figure it out. So after 40 hours of gaming through less than 10% of the game, I quit. And I'm not a quitter. I think I would rather read the novel. It would have been a lot more fun. Now I want to know, am I the only one who feels this way? No, you're not. I notice games in the Final Fantasy series are some of the biggest sellers of all times. I'm aware that there are millions who love these games, but I'm just not one of them. Don't just tell me I'm nuts and don't understand. Please explain to me why RPGs are so addictive and some gamers go without sleeping, eating or bathing for days while playing these elf quests. Okay, most of you won't go without eating. Now you could brush off RPG gamers by calling them nerds or geeks, but hey, I'm a geek. Aren't these geeks for me too? Right. Yeah, that's the sentiment I'm so used to seeing. Just all you do is stand around and taking turns. And it's like there's so much. I mean, this is just me. This is just my take on this, and I've said this probably millions of times by now. But there's so much stuff going on that people are just like, oh, I'm not even doing anything. I'm just walking around and taking turns. Like in chess, all you do is take turns. In yeah, I'm not gonna delve into it. Okay, I think you know your PlayStation games. Take the PlayStation aptitude test. What was the first PS2 game off the assembly line? I'm gonna. I don't know. What PS game carried the coveted serial number 001? Oh, I don't know. But it'd be interesting to know though. I can imagine Tekken Tag Tournament feels like. Well, I say Tekken Tag Tournament, but you know this is an early PS2 thing, isn't it? So all of these will be new. So I don't know. Spyro is to the police as Crash Bandicoot is to I don't know the answer, but I know the link because the drummer from the police did the soundtrack to Spyro, so I don't know what as for Crash Bandicoot I don't know. I am a fan of Men at Work though. Soul Reaver's Raziel is to the Smurfs as Crash Bandicoot's Neo Cortex is to. So that'll be something to do with voice actors. Oh, there's answers here. So 1B, Smuggler's Run. 2A, Tekken Tag Tournament. Ah, yeah, I said that. 4, which is number 4. D, Devo. All right. 5, all of the above. Yeah, they wouldn't usually, like in all of the above, they wouldn't include an all of the above option if it wasn't that, I feel, a lot of the time. Okay. There is a significant amount of RPG development going on. Since decent RPGs take a bare minimum of 18 to 24 months to complete, you can expect to see them starting the shelves in Japan around Q1 2001. Who's gonna save you? Your mama can't hear your cries. Vampire Hunter D. Never heard of it. Don't know what it is. Alright. Doop. Console launches through the years. Okay, so for reference, I am an hour into this now. I am 1 hour in. And I am more than a third, so I'll probably get this done in less than 3 hours. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, I'm going to have a little drink of my other drink, one of my other drinks, which is my Pepsi Max Cherry. Very nice. Console launches through the years. So this is telling you when things were released. So the Genesis was released in 1989, was it? I thought it would have been a little bit after that. The PS1's 1995, right. Until now. Ironically, the system that resuscitated the video game industry came not with a roar, but with a whimper. With a whisper. And which one was that? Is it saying it's the PS1? So they're going through different consoles here. ColecoVision, the Nintendo, Genesis. Some launch titles. So Space Harrier 2 is a launch title. Super Hang-On. I had both those games. The PlayStation. Oh, come on. The PlayStation. We had Air Combat, Battlewing Toshinden. Yeah. Ridge Racer, was that? No. Oh yeah. App. Killer App Ridge Racer. All right. So not quite. The original Ridge Racer for PlayStation on the left and the latest incarnation on PS2. Right. 5 years of technology makes a lot of difference. Successfully marketed the Famicom. Oh, no, that's from something. That's from that one. I'm not gonna read all this, but hold on. Sega also promised the Power-Based Converter, a peripheral that allowed the Genesis to play Master System games. I had one of those. I had a Master System for the Mega Drive. It was like it was shaped like a cartridge, but with like an extra. It was like a bulky thing that sort of slotted into the cartridge slot, and on top of it was like a separate cartridge slot for Master System games, so you could put the Master System games in and play those games. And that was good because my friend Matthew had a Master System, and he had some games like Sonic 1. Even before the launch, Sony had pre-sold over 100,000 units. When the PlayStation went on sale on September 7th, 17 games were available. Within 3 days of the launch stores, 17 games. Alright, so that's not all of them. So Ridge Racer might have been a launch game then. Even peripherals like extra controllers and memory cards were in demand. Yeah, I think the memory card was something. It took until Tekken 2 for me to really learn like what a memory card could do. Anyway, playing dress up. Adio. That's yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 has it all. Sweet gameplay, raunchous tunes, and licensed clothing. Like Tony Hawk's 2 has an excellent soundtrack. It's where I discovered Bad Religion, my favourite band, with their song You. I heard that and I was like, this is just amazing. They even supplied you with websites so you don't have to waste your time searching for the stuff and you can just get out and skate, especially before the snow starts falling. But this was in December, wasn't it? There's Bucky Lazek. There's Rune Glifberg. If you don't have the right boots, you'll never feel like a pro skater. Tony finally started constructing shoes of his own. Check them out at those websites. So Tony Hawk's 2, was that out at this point? I think it probably was. 2000. Yeah. Hang on, Motor Racer World Tour. Yep. Oh, another double page spread. Surfer, time to slash. That is, look, this font here is the quintessential early 2000s cool font, as I'm calling it. Because it was always used for like tech shows and all that. And just stuff like this. Yeah, it's just Champion Surfer. Right, what do we have here? Lots of people are excited about the PS2 for many reasons, and many people have asked what it means for sound and how it will change the way we hear games. As far as audio goes, the greatest thing about the PS2 is memory and storage. The two biggest boundaries for sound designers and musicians have been the memory limitations of the sound chip and storage place to put it all. When we were creating the sounds for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, we were constantly running out of space constraint issues. There were so many different surfaces the player could skate on, and we wanted to have as many different sounds as possible. Yeah, that was one thing. I think especially Tony Hawk's 1, they really did it with like the sound effects. Oh! Tommy Tallarico. This, oh my goodness, this is H-Bomber Guy had a video on this guy about how he was responsible for sound effects, but there's a hidden. Oh, you have to watch the video. H-Bomber Guy, Tommy Tallarico. There's a whole thing about the oof sound effect from Roblox, and he talks about how he made it, and like he has like all these Guinness World Records, and it turns out that many of them are like fake, or some of them are, I don't know, but there's like a lot of like controversy going on there where there's a lot of fake stuff. I should watch that video again. That was interesting. I forgot about that, but yeah, Tommy Tallarico. Anyway, first arcade project running on the PS2 based arcade system known as the System 246 was demonstrated at the recent JAMA arcade show in Tokyo. So this is an arcade show. Where is it? Yeah, PS2 powers arcade. Couples who play together stay strong. So this is the opposite of what we were talking about earlier. About that guy's girlfriend who was like, oh, video games, oh. Right. Gaming rocks, and gaming with your mate rocks particularly hard. So this month, a gaming couple any musician will envy. We chatted with Jesse, 24, a cook who plays guitar for the Motor, and Amy, 22, who bartends and sings for a band. Guilty Cock. Okay then, that's a band name. Gaming is one of 14 billion ways they get their jollies. Look at this yellow text. With music in mind, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, so they're just asking. Why do you guys game together? It's the only thing we enjoy together. Shut up, we played Jeopardy when we first met, but player 3, the computer, kept winning. Player 3 is a bastard. Now we play Jeopardy to relieve the nostalgia of our halcyon days. We were back at the fresh-faced youngsters. What was that? March, April? Do you guys integrate bedroom activity and gaming activity? That is such a weird thing to ask. Can barely read this. What do you think of the use of licensed music in video games? I think it is great. Tony Hawk 2 is a perfect example. It effing rocks. I really don't think there's enough of it. It should continue. You think about the old Mario music and the way that sticks in your head, and that'll make you crazy. It's sweet to have a decent song stuck in your head for once. Now that I think of it, I like to do a song for a game. Check back in a couple of weeks. We'll start piecing together a PlayStation album tomorrow. Yeah, Tony Hawk's 2. Had Bad Religion and Millencolin and Power Man 5000. Swinging Udders. Rage Against the Machines. One Machine. Anthrax, I think I had Anthrax. Consumed. Had a lot of good music. What would you change about the gaming industry? There should be more games involving sex. It'd piss people off, but I don't have a problem with it. I want remakes of Atari games, but there's no sex in those. They should make a game based on the movie Fresh. That would be rad. Or I forget, we want to challenge that lesbian couple to a game off. Don't know what they're talking about, but I will take them at their word. I don't know what lesbian couple they're talking about. I mean, they probably mentioned it earlier in the interview. But anyway, look at Spyro torching the ducks so that Sparks can get some fireflies. So this is Spyro 3, yeah, around that time. If you ran the video game industry, there's so many like letters and stuff in this one. I like it. Hold on. I saw the phrase a gay RPG hero is walking through a demonic castle, and I thought I've got to watch the start. I've got to read the start of that. Right. Games for gamers. I don't think gay people in games would be a good idea. I, being a gamer and all, think there's still a huge gap between the real world and Homeland. Although it would give me much hope and dignity to say gay character in the game, I think it would hurt a game sales in general. That's so sad. I mean, honestly now, how many hardcore sports game fans do you think would play to see a big buff man in tutus running around throwing fireballs? Oh, I thought we were talking like in a sports game, someone throwing fireballs. A very humorous thought, but no. Also, gay people are generally somewhat flamboyant. I can see it now. A gay RPG hero is walking through a demonic castle and he stops for a sec, looks around and says, "My god, don't these creatures know how to coordinate their colours? These Satan drops go horrible with this green mouldy floor. Oh, and my shoes. I think it would be a little too dramatic." What? Oh my goodness, this guy has so much internalized homophobia. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for C-Corps. Why isn't there more variety in video game characters? I'd like to see some gay characters myself. We do exist, and we do play video games. As far as female gay characters, Lara Croft has got to be one. I'm a lesbian, and my gaydar tells me she is too. If she weren't simply beautifully animated polygons and pixels, I'd certainly want to marry her. Oh, address withheld. From Alexandra. There's one big thing missing from RPGs for being these Oh, here we go. Right. Let's get ready for this. For these being interactive games, there's very little interaction. Scrolling through a conversation is not interaction. Oh, stupid. I don't know why it does that. It's annoying. Right. We need to be given dialogue choices. When the king asks you to go and kill this monster robot houseplant, just getting up and running off like you have nothing better to do is ludicrous. Give us the chance to express our character. Give us that yes sir choice, or what am I going to get out of it choice, or the good old-fashioned get bent choice. Every RPG also seems to have a love triangle, but no love. Let us choose who we want to end up with. FF7 came close with the short sequence at the Golden Saucer, but it was totally random. A totally random encounter. Give us a chance, damn it. It wasn't totally random. See? It wasn't totally... I mean, if you ask me, things like that, I just do not care. It's like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to have like all these dialogue choices, and I don't want to have like, oh, if you talk nice to this person, they'll influence this thing. I don't like it. I'd rather the story just be as it is, and the world is there for me to explore, and there's things like in secret caves for me to discover, and stuff to like customize my character's equipment and stats and all that. I love that. Saying that though, this sort of proves a point in that he says that it was totally random who like the scene at the Gold Saucer. It wasn't totally random. It was based on different things that you said and they did throughout the story. So this person here is looking for like crossovers. They're not actually responding to these. I'd give Solid Snake a frickin' silencer while playing that game. I just wanted to cap people so bad. All those people in my way. And if I let a bullet fly, 50,000 guys in white go, huh? I'd also make it so if you shot the dude in the crotch, he'd say, "Oh my nuts," and sink to his knees, crying and holding his crotch. But he wouldn't die right away. I'd have to shoot him again. This should go the same way if you kneecap a guy or shoot him in the hand. Of course, you'd have to make it so when you shoot, the game goes into a Turok Doom style type shooter. Right, well, here we have Dukes of Hazzard 2. Fran was telling me that he remembers the box art of Dukes of Hazzard. And he has nostalgia for the box art. But I don't know if that was this one. I mean, it would probably be different box art in the UK. I don't know if it was this game. Or if it was a different one, because this is Dukes of Hazzard 2. And look, it's a Team 17 font again. Whoa. Look at this. Hybrid engine, extreme racing. Take it to the extreme, modify, then race one of 8 customizable cars through some of the toughest tracks. Hitting the mark. I'll grab a drink. Approaching halfway. Hitting the mark. Are developers finally learning to cope with Sony's Emotion Engine? Talk to any developer currently working on PS2 games, and no matter how experienced they are, how big a budget they have, or how many people they throw on a project, they'll tell you that the system is hard to program for. It's something that's always inherent to the first generation development for any new system, says Kaz Hirai of Sony Computer Entertainment America. The same thing was certainly told to me about the PlayStation development systems. And that was certainly the case with the PS3 as well. It will take 3 years for games to make complete use of the total potential of the PS2. So this is all about the system, the hardware. Making better use of the hardware. There are a lot of special tricks the Emotion Engine can pull off that few developers have begun to make use of. Konami has shown that by using weather and what Hideo Kojima likes to refer to as air effects, the PS2 can demonstrate stunningly realistic sequences. These are just a few of the many tricks developers will use to make their better looking games. So this is an example of the weather techniques, I'm guessing. If you look closely at Ridge Racer 5, you'll notice jagged edges on the scenery. So is this talking about the anti-aliasing? Ah, yes. The plagued with aliasing issues, jagged edges, and often suffered from slowdown. As developers became more friendly with the hardware, they decided to clean up the games for their US release. Yes. And up here, it's just a continuation from before. The players. Known for Onimusha. Keiji Inafune for Onimusha. I suppose on PlayStation, yeah. It is gradually becoming easier to develop for the PS2 as we get used to the hardware. But we have now established some basic know-how which makes the development for PS2 a lot easier than before. The overwhelming quality... Quality of the graphics is a huge advantage in developing games. Yeah. So these guys are just going to be talking about that. Taking maximum advantage of the PS2 will require custom engines designed for PS2 and games designed around the advantages it offers while hiding its disadvantages. The bigger challenge is how to make the parallel processes run together. Yeah, it's all technical stuff. What the heck is so emotional about that engine? Hollywood banter. Amazing Spider-Man. Episode 2. Oh. Play with your own Dark Angel. Angel. The Rock is Scorpion. So these talking about films. Yeah. Oh look, it's the 2000s cool font. Street Fighter EX3. So this is oh, look at that. 4 of them fighting all at once. That must be awkward. Oh, but look at this interface. Look at how much emphasis they put on making it 3D and all that. That's something that they would look at today and be like, oh, we can't do that because it would look tacky. Gossip, rumour and scandal. Gaming's biggest secrets dug up and served with gravy. Rasmus Klanger considering the new Ultimate game for PS2 that's come bundled with a modem. What? It seems that EA Game Sports and .com are building lots of ideas around getting PS2 users online early. The PS2 online thing, as far as I'm aware, never happened in the UK. Because I heard about it, but I don't think I saw anything to do with it anyway. Sorry, I'm just reading something here. I could pause this, but then I would have to edit it, so I'll just be one moment. Right. Right. Okay. I just received a big message on my messenger saying like, oh, I'm not going to go into the details of what they were saying, but they were just saying like someone who I haven't spoken to for like 8 years just sent me a big message saying like giving their response on something that I had said previously. So I thought I should probably take a moment to read this. So I will respond to him in due time. Nothing negative. Don't worry about me. Nothing that's going to be like hanging over my mind or anything. It's all positive. Anyway, Rockin' Sequels Frenzy. The PS2 has certainly helped inspire some new franchises, but we've also heard that a bunch of sequels are in the works. Midnight Club 2, Smuggler's Run 2, Grand Theft Auto 3. Oh yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3. It was about 3 where it got, like, I feel like it really kicked off. At least, because like I was saying before, like I had like friends at school who were really into GTA. And it was like San Andreas and Liberty City. Or was it Vice City? I can't remember. Anyway. Dynasty Warriors 3 is currently in development and will boast even more on-screen characters. Is that possible? I really like Dynasty Warriors 3. I know that it's at the time it was like, oh look at all these enemies you can have on the screen at once, but just generally I just think it's a good game. I really enjoyed it. I mean, if I played it now I might feel like it's very clunky. But it was very nice. Personally, I'm not a big fan of any of Hasbro's interpretations of any old games, but my guess is many of them have sold spectacularly well. When the toy giant acquires the rights to all of the Atari games a while ago, one of the first projects was put into development a new version of the awesome, groundbreaking, in the early 80s, Star Raiders. Never heard of it. When they said Hasbro, so I would have thought it would have been like board games and all that. I remember I had a PS3 version of a game called Blockers, which was sort of like a board game, and I don't know, it was really weird, and I thought it was quite hard. Like you had to place like these, they look sort of like Tetris blocks on a board, but when you put them down, they had to touch another one of your pieces, but just by the corner. They couldn't like overlap. Like they couldn't touch each other like along an edge. They could only touch on a corner. It was very strange. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. Anyway, Breath of Fire 4. So yeah, 2000 is very much it's like the PS2 is out, but we're still very much into making PS1 games. Yeah, I've tried snowboarding with amateur riders, but it was lame. Oh, yeah, check me out. Introducing Winter X Games Snowboarding. I think I had that game. I think I had it and then didn't play it. And then I traded it in, which I didn't really... When I was a kid, I didn't really like trading games in at all, but that was one that I did. Backstage Assault. Some sort of... Is it like wrestling? I do like these types of adverts where it's like, you know, you can tell there's like some artistry gone into the style here. Oh, but I have to cross out like Sprite there. I can make it out. Urinals in the bathroom. Anything within reach is now a weapon. Backstage isn't just a part of the arena, it's part of your arsenal. Yeah. DVD reviews. Yeah, because PS2 was the DVD player, so I suppose DVD reviews would make sense, because it's sort of like they can sell the PS2 on at least partially on the fact that it can play DVDs. So if they're reviewing DVDs, like saying, "Oh, well, this is a good thing to get on DVD," then they could sell more stuff. Mission Impossible 2, Fantasia Anthology, Gladiator. Yeah, I'm not particularly interested in these. Buy.com. Hold on. Amazon.com. So what is... Amazon.com makes the broad claim of having Earth's biggest selection, and given that they sell everything from acne medication to lemon zesters, they may be right. The DVD section is one of the easiest to navigate through, injecting a bit of personality by having fun gimmicks such as pitting sales of hot titles against each other. So here it's telling you, like, here are the sites you can buy DVDs from. In August, DVDs outsold VHS cassettes in Japan for the first time. So this is they're starting to kick off. Just had a little drink of my Oasis. My other of the 3 drinks. For foreign film lovers, according to thedigitalbits.com, Miramax is devising a plan to bring Krzysztof Kieslowski's classic trilogy, I don't know, I might be pronouncing that wrong, Blue, White and Red to DVD. The same guy, Mark Rance, who is working on bringing these French films to DVD, also has been working on a Crow box set. Right. So these coming soon. Oh, Chicken Run. So Chicken Run wasn't out at this point. Chicken Run came out in 2000. I remember I got the game for Toy Story 2. I got that at the same day that we went to see the film in the cinema. So we I'll tell you where to get the cheapest ones. So I actually saw like one of the cutscenes at the start, which had like a clip from the film where the guy, what's he called? The guy who takes Woody, the guy who wants to sell him to the museum because he realizes that he's like a rare collectible. Big Al. I think it's Big Al. Yeah, he steals him. And at the time, I didn't know who that was. I was thinking, what's going on here? And then I went to see the film. I was like, oh, okay. Evil Dead. Hail to the King. Sound station. Oh. Each month we review albums from bands that provide the oral soundscape to our gaming experiences. This month we review albums from bands contributing to the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, MTV Sports Pure Ride and MTV Sports skateboarding soundtracks. Right. Well, I don't know that one. I've listened to Papa Roach Infest, didn't really care for it. I've not listened to this one, but I do know I will listen to it at some point. I recently listened to Power Man 5000's Anyone for Doomsday, and I do know with Tonight the Stars Revolt, I know a few songs on it, although I don't necessarily remember a lot of them, but I know it's the one with When Worlds Collide on it. Imagine Rob Zombie had overdosed on 40s pulp sci-fi instead of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you've got a pretty good idea what Power Man 5000 is all about. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Sure, it rocks fairly hard, but there's something inherently cheesy about it that keeps me from really sticking with it. They are cheesy. They are very cheesy. I don't know how intentional it is. Some of it comes across to me as like it's definitely like this is definitely intentional. They've got a song that came out within the last decade, I think, called How to Be a Human, and I first saw like the video to that and I was thinking this is definitely intentional, but it can be hard to tell sometimes. But yeah, I think they really like, I think they sort of like play into it. But I do like them to some extent. One song that I discovered recently, I was listening to Anyone for Doomsday, and the song was The End of Everything. That this is the end of anything, you got it, come on, doon, doon, doon. I don't really remember it much. But yeah, they don't like it. Go forward, then back, yeah. You know you got it, said you got it, da 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 da. Come on, doon doon doon. Yeah, I kind of remember it. Rainbow Six is back and tougher than ever. And oh, Rock'em Sock'em Arena. I only know these from seeing them in TV shows. I don't actually remember the toy itself, but this just looks like this is just a fighting game with robots. But look at the amount of fonts. Like, look at the the logo here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different fonts in the logo. Top 20? What's the top 20 in what? Can't be rating because one of them they rate at 1. One circle. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Ah, the free fall has begun, but fear not, certainly the sequel will ollie and grind its way onto the top 5 in no time. Yeah, alright. And the UK top 10. See, Japan's top 10 has Dragon Quest 7, never came out here. OPM's most wanted PS game, Final Fantasy 9, completely understandable. It would be for me too, probably around this time. I mean, 2000... December 2000. I'm sure it was out in 2000. We'll have to look that up. Because I did get it on day of release, I remember that much. And here we have Resident Evil Survivor, which I've heard is very bad. Very bad. Oh, Unreal Tournament. Is that a stapler? 100 heavy duty staples included with staple gun. So, is that... I'm guessing it's a joke on one of the weapons. Unreal Tournament. That you can shoot out like staples or something. Model UT00. Midnight Club. I had one Midnight Club game for the PS3. Didn't play it much though. You know the rules. There are no rules. But I like the aesthetics of like cities at night time. I find cities in games, I like them aesthetically. I don't like GTA style cities where you have to navigate round and through them. Anyway, Silent Scope. Is that someone trying to snipe someone with a PS2 controller? Gran Turismo 3 previewed inside. So this is coming soon. It's a list of games coming soon. Age of Empires 2. Oh yeah, that came out on the PS2. I remember that. Oh, November. Final Fantasy 10. Final Fantasy 11. What? Is this? Oh, previewed. So they're like previews upcoming. Maybe. Rayman 2 Revolution. That's Rayman 2 on the PS2 version. New name, but no less amazing. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Oh no, okay, so it goes down. Right, I see. So Final Fantasy 10 and Final Fantasy 11 is other 2001 releases. Okay, I see. I was confused there. So when is Final Fantasy 9 listed? It doesn't look like it is. Sure, weather in racing games isn't exactly a new concept, but GT3 might just take the concept to the next level. Weather conditions in the game pose new challenges. Oh, grappling hook. That's a watch. Advertising a watch. Is it relating it to James Bond? By the looks of it. This month's PS2 debut of Ubisoft's Limbless mascot. The Limbless mascot. Much of the typical platform business you'd probably expect. Save your friends, earn love and respect from the Tinsies, and you're committed to helping battle demented pirates, or as many as 10 at once, travel across 80 worlds, pick up 5,000 lums, do a million things. That is what so many of these reviews are like. Just like shove numbers around. Blood of the Last Vampire. Oh, so there's a Japan flag there. So, is that a Japanese? Is this release like version of is like previewing a Japanese version of the game? Set for a Japanese release later this year. As it stands now, a PS2 version, also from production IG, is planned to hit the Land of the Rising Sun. The Land of the Rising Sun early next year. So there's another phrase, so they don't have to say Japan more than once. Grappling hook in the Robot Wars font. So is that looks like an advert for a watch, but there's not. It just says a grappling hook. Nuclear. Ah, they're doing this thing again. I've seen this. And then they'll do this a few times, then eventually it'll be, oh, James Bond. Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 1 was the only, or one of the only games that my friend Matthew showed me on the PS1 that I just wasn't too bothered with. What's that? Slipheed. Or Slipheed. We originally planned to have the review of Treasure's awesome looking PS2 shooter for you this month, but unfortunately the US version of the game is taking a bit longer than working designs had originally anticipated. Alright then. Yeah, Silent Hill 2. Kessen 2. Fans of the recently released Kessen should be glad to hear that a sequel is already in the works. Look for it next year. Well, they're in December now. So, yeah. Now let's see. So, Nuclear. So, watch, a pen. What's the next one going to be? A car. Oh, okay. PC Revenge Pro. Or RC Revenge Pro. Looks like a very active game going on here. Due in November, Acclaim's follow to its popular remote control racing series features over 30 vehicles, including boats, tanks, and even an alien spaceship in more than 20 different tracks with various themes. Yeah. When I notice something once, it's like, that's just the way that my brain goes. It's like, oh, well, I've got to notice it all the time now. This looks like nonsense. Not so much a game as a party tool. Well, there you go then. 5 hours of original music from today's leading DJs. So it's just music then. Music and music and visuals. We have some shooter here. Which one's that? Eden? Nope, no garden here. In the distant future, things looking up, but not in a good way. Due to overpopulation and limited space, cities have had no choice but to grow vertically into the stratosphere. At the top, where the sun can be seen, live the rich, while the poor reside thousands of feet below in virtual darkness. Oh, that is quite cyberpunk in a way. And this is a Legacy of Kain. Yeah, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2. So Legacy of Kain, is that like the that's like the subtitle of the particular entry in the Soul Reaver series? Cause I know, well, a friend of mine had this game and he played it, but I'm not really familiar with the series. Cause I know there's Raziel and I think there's another character as well. Oh yeah, there was Raziel. And there was another character who was like a demon character who couldn't touch water or something. Am I remember that correctly? Just looking at this, I might have to look. See, the thing with like reading these is I'm looking at things and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to have to look that up. Anyway, here's a pool game. Yeah. Missile launcher. Is there going to be another one, or is it going to say the name of the game? Let's have a look. Oh, there it is. See the world through Bond's eyes. Bond's eyes, not bonsai. Drop ship. Super Buster move. It won't exactly wow you with its awe-inspiring graphics, capable on PS2, but Acclaim's November puzzle should easily please fans. The popular Buster Move series. While the core colour matching gameplay remains, this Taito developed title includes several new factors like conveyor belt walls that change your shot trajectory, tiny bubbles that fit where larger ones can't. See, I think that's when you've got games like this, it's things like that that really spice it up, where you add in like new levels with like some like little quirks. So here it's got conveyor belt walls. Anyway, cue ball, billiards master. Yep. So I mean, snooker and pool games are fine. I liked Hustle Kings on the PS3. Because what I really liked about Hustle Kings was that you actually had to put like a currency on the line. So, say you had like 10,000 credits, you could put on 10,000 credits like on the line into like this pot, and then you played against someone, and then if you won, you got all of it in the pot, and if you lost, you just lost it all. And there were some like items in the game that were like really expensive, And it was really good for that, and I really liked what they did. But they had microtransactions, like you could buy chalk, like different strength chalk. And I was like, yeah, that's not good. And it had lots of in-game adverts as well. But apart from that, it was an interesting game. Dropship. That doesn't sound like dropshipping. The thing that I know dropshipping to be. Okay. Anyway. This ice hockey game. And he's dreaming of ladies at the beach. And oh, ice hockey, and then back to the beach again. Surfing H3. Oh, H3 or Mobile Suit Gundam. Bandai's first PS2 release due out early next year aims to please fans of the Gundam anime saga, which I have never really got into. I've seen regularly on Cartoon Network. I remember I think they announced Gundam Wing on Cartoon Network, and like Dragon Ball Z, I just did not care. I think that was it, but I don't know. Oh yeah, Surfing H3 or see, it's more extreme than H2 or it's H3 or. Not only is this most Surfing H3 or the PS2's first surfing game, it also has one of the strangest peripherals ever. A tiny fingerboard that sits atop on the DualShock 2 analog sticks, giving you more realistic gameplay. That sounds like a real hassle. Sky Odyssey. It's a bit like Pilot Wings by the looks of it, but PlayStation. I know Pilot Wings was on like Super Nintendo, wasn't it, before the N64? I did play Pilot Wings at the Childcare Centre. Kind of knew how to play, but not really. If I had more time with it, I'd probably do better. But this, the Most Wanted speakers, they look rather garish. I don't know what is this part of it. The Bouncer. Oh, the Squaresoft game where the character looks like Sora. Yeah. As I've looked at other fighting games, the hero characters appear quite intelligent, but the non-hero characters aren't as clearly designed. I couldn't find any non-hero characters that I'd want to emulate. Therefore, what I try to do with this project, in that regard, is less of a hero/non-hero distinction. Each character appearing in the game should have an impact on the player. And what's this? Is that this from the Bouncer as well? I don't know. Top Gear, Daredevil. Right. Take snapshots and video for the game's 23 real life levels. Yeah. 23 levels. Can you believe that a game has 23 levels? I can't believe it. I'm becoming really sarcastic now. With an amazing snowball title like SSX out, you might wonder why you'd even think about Konami's entry to the genre. These are two completely different games, says Konami's Craig Howe. This isn't really a racing game. We focus on bringing you the authenticity of the sport. Find out just how realistic it is this month. And here we have a game where, again, I think I've seen Dragonval. I think I might have seen that logo, but I don't know what that game is. Oh, Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore. They have to call it hardcore, don't they? This is a very busy. If it wasn't for the title at the bottom there, I would not be able to make out what's going on here. Kessen, just, again, perfect image to represent Kessen. I mean, suppose there is a samurai blade there, but that's what they do, isn't it? Right. A 3D Contra for the PS1. Oh, we've got coming soon. So what distinguishes this from the other coming soon section? Or is it the same? I don't know. The background story runs a few parallels with the Contra series. Aliens have invaded Earth, and you, as Resistance fighter Lieutenant Vaughn, must put a stop to them and their evil force of cyborg humans. You will play the principal hero, but this is not just one man against all odds. Says Andrew Kennedy of Sony Cambridge. His most sterling support comes from the commander of the Resistance of his estranged wife. So C12, that's what it's called. I've never heard of it. Also, is it literally like a Contra game then? Like, it's not Contra style, it is actually just a Contra in this Contra series. Freestyle motocross. We saw an advert for that earlier. Warriors of Might and Magic. God, it's been a long time since I've heard of Might and Magic. Oh, Fear Effect. Dance Dance Revolution. Yeah. Oh, Jungle Book. Jungle Book version. Alright, Fear Effect. Oh, look, see, I don't have the mouse clicked. If I click, hold, and then let go, okay. Chronos, the title developer, has even tweaked the puzzles to make them less contrived and more natural. One situation, for instance, has you search for a keycard to gain passage through a certain door. You'll have to sneak your way into the men's room, past multiple stalls to liberate it from the guy throwing up in the sink. Gross, but effective. And here we have easily one of the best PS2 launch titles by Gamers Republic, which is Gungriffin Blaze. I always find it interesting, like the fonts and everything. Like, is that the early 2000s cool font? It's not. Well, I think that's not italics, or maybe not, but like the gradient and everything they've got on them. I mean, look at that. Anyway, we have 102 Dalmatians. It's just a platform game. Army Men 2. Technomage. Technomage. Looks like an army man. Oh, hold on. No, hold on. No. That's for that one there. This is Technomage. If you're hunting for a fantasy action adventure, Sunflower's Technomage will proudly fit the bill. As of now, only a European release is planned, but if it does come stateside, you'll get the chance to play as Melvin, the Technomage himself. I've never heard of this game. I don't even know what type of game it is. I mean, I know it says action adventure, I guess. There are eight accompanying bosses whose design and behaviour correspond to the wildly visual fantasy areas you'll find them in. 8. Written with letters, not the actual, like, digits. And look at that. A sports game. Can you believe it? A visual feast for PS2 owners in Shooter Heaven. Gamers Republic. But not quite as good as the other game that Gamers Republic was saying. Sylpheed. Or Sylpheed, I think it is. Believe in your pilots, hope for the best, pray for a saviour. So, hold on. Previous one, if I got that right. Easily one of the best PS2 launch titles. A visual feast. Alright. Oh, Luna 2. Oh, look at this. Got the strategy guide there. But in this font overlapping the image here, so it's not made very clear, you can get the 5-disc collector's edition with all this stuff. You can receive a free pre-order to receive a free limited edition Galleon punching puppet. For complete details, visit the website. Yeah, I mean, you say free, but it's all part of the package, isn't it? Oh, look. There's 4 crashes. The making of an icon. So we're going to hear about Crash Bash now. I'm going to have a drink. This is thirsty work. I want to be done before, like within the hour at least. Crash Bash could very well be the last Crash game we'll see on PS1. Shame. Huh. It's only the first game that hasn't been directly controlled by original developer Naughty Dog. It's quite possibly the first step in a complete different style and philosophy for the series. Yeah, this doesn't dictate the future of Crash. Every week we learn something new, and the learning experience will continue for the next generation. Some have said the difficulty of developing for the system will be a detriment. I don't believe that to be true. Let's see what they have to say. Whoa! Look at this graphic. The many games of Crash Bash. So there's always mini games. So hold on. So is this a reference to the Warp Room? So is this the first one? This might be the. So I think this is the first one. So like Pogo, Painter, Crash Ball, Polar Panic, Jungle Bash. I think that was the first one. And Papu Pummel. And then these are. This is like the second Warp Room. Is it? I don't know. A lot of them are like new renditions of old ones, but I like that they've had like different stages with new like elements to them. So Jungle Bash there is, you know, you're walking around throwing stuff at each other, Poi Poi style. Jungle Bash, and then Space Bash is like the next level of that, where you throw stuff and you can destroy the floor below you. And Pogo Go-Go is the continuation of Pogo Painter. So they actually, so it is it is sort of like how they treat the PS1 Crash games, but with mini games instead. So you got Crash Ball, and then you can get Beach Ball. So that adds like new features. So I don't know what the difference is with Pogo Go-Go. So I don't know what they've added to that one. We've got like Snow Bash, El Pogo Loco, Melt Panic, Metal Fox. I see their Sky Ball. So this is another one of the ones with the ball moving around. But again, they're gonna. I don't know. I do like that they keep changing like the scenery and add like variations, but I don't know what all the variations are. So is this set up like a poster? I think it might be, you know. Hold on. So let's have a look. Oh, maybe not. I mean, this is the poster. That looks nasty. Oh, okay, so maybe this is the other side of that. I'm not sure. We are now pure designers and not restricted by the technology of the day. Creepy Crash. This is what our hero looked like originally. Creepy, isn't he? He's basically the same design, but some of his more bizarre characteristics, like those also attractive cross eyes, have been straightened out. Crash is now considerably more cool, and you'll notice his mohawk and eyebrows have been overhauled a little bit too. Still, he doesn't look as creepy as that Crash suit in the photo cover on the right, does he? Hold on. So that one there, because that's fake Crash. In recent months, it's great to see that teams are shaking off the shackles of technology in order to simply release a vision. That's a good thing about when you get to the end of a console life cycle, is that when people get to like know the technology, then it's sort of like, we can just make a game for the sake of like whatever ideas we come up with. Whereas before it's like, oh, the new technology, let's see what it can do, and oh, we can't do this thing. There's a big onboarding process. But then when you get towards the end of the cycle, you start getting games, you start getting things that have a bit more heart in them. I don't know. But anyway, talk about numbers. Look at all these numbers here. There's a lot of numbers. Look, it even has 10 million polygons a second at a resolution of 640 by 480 pixels. The PlayStation 2 has 3 times the resolution but 100 times the polygon power. We also have an ample processor muscle and full colour palette. It is possible, therefore, to follow our creative urges without worrying about whether or not the hardware can handle it. Yeah. See, I mean, it's often phrased the other way, isn't it? Like, they say that, like, oh, this new technology will allow us to do all these things. But when a new console comes out, that's when it's difficult because people don't know how they're working with it. But anyway, look, cue ball, more billiards. Oh. Let's just say I don't think the outcome of this custody battle is necessarily what is best for the child. What are you talking about? Look at Crash Bandicoot. Peacock commercials. And on some talk show. A quick reminder of Crash as he's appeared each year. Nice flippers here. Whoa. Nice flippers there. Oh man. Oh yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. The series has survived through many iterations and has become one of the biggest selling franchises of all time in America. Why does he work? Most people don't even know what a Bandicoot is. I think the Crash's success can be attributed to two factors, Rubin explained. First, the character is compelling. Although you may not have realised it, Crash was the first character since... Hold on, the first character to show emotion in each and every frame of animation. This emotion has led to attachment with Crash, which many gamers took from Crash to Crash game through the entire series. Second, we did create some good games, judging by both by magazine reviews and by consumer feedback. If Crash 2 had failed to deliver both the Crash character and the Crash quality, then we would never have sold as many copies as we did. And certainly most of the audience wouldn't have come back for Crash Warped. This formatting, okay, so it goes like down and then up here and up down here, which, like this big pink bit of text in the middle really throws it off. Right. Unleash our road raging daredevil. Oh, Torna versus Coco. Oh, Soundstation. I will have a look at that in a moment. So what happened to Crash's hot girlfriend after the first game? Where did she go? Was she too saucy? We never really found out why she was getting herself into so much trouble, during the first game anyway. And before we got a chance to ask, she was gone. The buxom blonde, the buxom blonde was replaced by Crash's goody sister Coco with her big cute ears, conservative wardrobe and geeky demeanour. What happened? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, when Crash 4 comes out in a couple decades, you'll find out. I mean, I don't know about story-wise, but she'll be there. Anyway, look. Jason Rubin. Oh, I've seen his face around. Could this be the beginning of Crash's Fat Elvis period? Warped is the only foreign-created and developed title to sell over 1 million units in Japan. I know Crash was very popular in Japan. It was very unusually popular for a non-Japanese game. But anyway, let's have a look at this over here. So this is the sound station, I guess. Is it called the sound station? So was this the prequel to the sound station 2 that I had then? Because look at this, looks very early 2000s. It's very much how things used to look when, like, I call it the Windows XP aesthetic. Oh. Your world, your games. Electronic Boutique presents. Okay. So is that like a card that you can do? Oh, look, there he is. Dreaming about women on the beach. And then, oh, American football. Or just football as he'd know it. And then, oh, cars. So will we see him again? See later on in his dream? Don't be afraid of the dark. Be afraid of what's in it. Alien resurrection. We rate games on a 5-point scale, so 0.5 is terrible, 2.5 is average, and 5 is superb. Get it? Well, what about 0? Shouldn't there be a 0 rating? To completely be honest with you, it's not often I feel compelled to really get down to the nitty-gritty and discuss some of the inner workings of the game industry with you all. Often it's just boring crap that we have to deal with, and ultimately it doesn't affect you, as I'm sure you're all interested in getting your hands on the latest games. I hope that you feel you You can rely on us to tell you what's good and what's bad. That's what we do. So these are the Meet the Critics. So these are the people who do the reviews. So favourite genres, RPGs. See, that guy from before doesn't get you. He thinks you're a nerd, but then again, he's a nerd. His obsession with Final Fantasy IX Vivi went from Cute Crush to Cute Crush? Isn't Vivi like 6? Best not question it. Also, Vivi isn't a human. So, I don't know. To unsettling fetish when he began wearing floppy hats and colourful baggy pants around the office. The effect, though, is more MC Hammer than ferocious black mage. Chris Baker. Todd. Sam Kennedy. Alright, let's move on. Whoa! Armored Core 2. So this is from Sam Kennedy, and he gives Armored Core 2 3 out of 5. Has always kept a select dedicated audience of gamers who are willing to accept its stiff control mechanics and can really get into the mech gameplay. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them, but like any PS2 game that comes into the office, when Armored Core 2 arrived for its review, I got really excited and thought to myself, wow, this is cool, it's Armored Core on the PS2. Then I played the game and thought to myself, wow, isn't it cool, it's Armored Core on the PS2. You see, although this game has received a major graphical polish thanks to the PS2, it's still the same thing we've seen before. If you're one of those people who can get past minor controls and other minor quirks of Armored Core games present, you'll love this one. If not, save your time and don't bother reading the rest of this review. I mean, I'm not going to read the rest of the review just because I've got a limited amount of time, but I'm not going to, not because I don't like Armored Core. I do like Armored. I played 1 and 2, and I played a little bit of 3, and I like them. There is no analog support. The fact that there is no analog support is crazy. It just feels wrong to control your mech with a digital pad and having to look up and down with the shoulder buttons. Okay, I can get the with the looking up and down at least today, but I kind of think that's like the D-pad is fine because of the way it controls. Now 1 second, I'm gonna open the window. It's turning down raining. I'm gonna get some air in. I don't know if you can hear that. In the rain. If you're the type of person who let that sort of stuff slide, Armored Core 2 could be a really good game to get into. I admit, once I got used to the controls, I did enjoy it myself a bit. Right, it even tells you how much memory it takes up on the memory card. That's nice. That's good to know. It was annoying on the PS1 where you'd have some games where you'd start playing and it's like, oh, this game takes up 3 slots and you don't have 3 slots. Especially, there were some games, I think there was a few sports games where it took up a whole memory card. Because I think you had to save maybe loads and loads of stats or something. I don't know. Tekken Tag Tournament. I played this a little bit, but hey, Tekken Ball. I think I mentioned this in a chatting with Fran episode. The Tekken Ball, there's Tekken Bowling, where if you're playing as Jack, you get more information on the bowling. Jack sees things differently from other players on account of his cyborgitude. As with the previous games in the series, if you persevere and try to open everything up, you're rewarded with goodies like endings and movies and bonus games. Tekken Ball is a fully fledged bowling game that is played tag style just like the rest of the TTT. Tekken Tag Tournament. Choose your team and jab the buttons to stop the moving power balls to affect your aim. It is strange that it has bowling in it. Sometimes these games are just like, oh, let's just add stuff so that it's got more content, even if it seems a bit odd. But yeah, I remember specifically, if you play as Jack, whichever variation of Jack is in this one, you get You get extra details. But I didn't own... I think my brother had this game. I didn't own it. But they rate it 4.5. It takes up 346 memory kilobytes. So that's more than most of these other ones. So, ESPN International Track and Field. I can't imagine that being good. Evergrace. Never heard of it. Evergrace is not a terrible game. It has its moments of ingenuity using the analog buttons and the DualShock 2 to determine the strength of attacks. For example, a nice innovation, though pretty obvious one, and building a world in which others react to a character based on his or her appearance, clothing, armor, or whatever is quite new. A fairly unimaginative action RPG. Most action RPG devotees won't have much reason to pick up Evergrace, so they don't like that one. Anyway, let's... Oh, we've got a little bit more here before we look at Kermit in all tied up. FIFA and Time Splitters. The first one, the one that I've not played. Split screening reviewing. Oh, so this is the like, right, for this one we're all going to chip in a little bit. So Gary Steinman, for example, says, prior to Time Splitters, I've never played an FPS in my life. I just wasn't interested, but this game instantly won me over with its effortless control and silky smooth gameplay. If companies continue to release titles like this, I might have to rethink the whole RPG guy thing. Now, I must say, RPGs has always been my thing, at least in 2000. I started, 2000 was around the time I was getting to that point, but Time Splitters 2 on 3 were the first time I really like properly got into an FPS. Other than that, I've never really bothered. But I think in part it was because I like the idea, because there were so many characters. I think I liked in part that there was like all the different types of characters and all these different types of settings and all different types of like modes where you could go and unlock things and do that sort of stuff, where it felt like you were accumulating accomplishments in a way. And I don't know how to describe, but that is sort of like how I felt. Anyway, here is Kermit all tied up. Here's a tip: let Miss Piggy win. Otherwise she'll do a karate chop on your head or something. Anyway, we've got Race Mania and Muppet Monster Adventures. Monster Adventure. And we have Kermit as a bat by the looks of it. Oop. Right. Not too long to go. A few more reviews. Gradius 3 and 4. Oh. What happened there? It's been a bit stained. Although these scans are alright, they're not as bad as some of them where it's like completely out of whack. But it's 2.5. This isn't a game where you buy to shove the power of the PS2, but Konami isn't releasing this as a revolutionary title. Yeah, it is. There are some games where I remember sometimes where a game would come out on a game would come out on a system, and it would be a case of the graphics are like 2D where you wouldn't expect it to be 2D. Like I remember like seeing a 2D game on the PS1 like Rayman and thinking, oh wow, 2D game, that's weird. And then I saw a 2D game on the PS2. I thought that's weird. And then the PS3 brought 2D games. I was like, oh, that's weird, a 2D game on the PS3. And it didn't really occur to me that 2D was just a style. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I had to cough. Oh. I'm going to have to end this soon. Right. If you're expecting the long 50 to 100 hour campaign out of Kessen than I was, you'll likely feel a little disappointed. So is it meant to be like a long game? I don't know. Midnight Club. They quite like that one. Surfing H3O. It's extra cool. Oh, even more. See, the thing is, you always think they're going to enter these features and then they just add more. MotoGP, is that the first one? It's a remarkably accurate simulation of racing 500cc bikes. Resident bike loons, like our new art guy Jim, think it's the best game ever. Orphan, another game I've sort of heard of, but not really. I'll give it 3. But yeah, the print isn't so good on this page. Silent Scope. I've heard of that. I used to mix. I think there was a few games I mixed up, like Siphon Filter, for example. I remember there was a game called Siphon Filter, which is that what is? Is that the game? Hold on, Siphon Filter. That's not the game where the guy that goes undercover, or is it the guy that goes? He's called Sam something, and he wears green, and he has like night vision goggles. Is that Siphon Filter? I think it is. But I used to mix it up with the demo of a game I had, which I later found was called Silent Bomber, I think. Where in the demo you went, like, the way you defeated enemies was you went around planting bombs and then you set them off, like, after so long. So that might be in that. But we've got the PS2 Essentials. So Racing Wheel, Storm Chaser Pad. I don't know what the significance of that is, to have turbo buttons or something. DVD remote. Just use a controller. I think the DVD remote and all that, I think that's a way to sort of ease in something I always found weird, right? The DVD remote, I always felt like it was a way to ease in place, because you remember the PS2 marketed itself as not just a games console, but as a DVD player. So there would be people who would be potentially interested in PS2, who weren't really interested in games, but just wanted DVDs. And those people, like, to them, a game controller is like this weird, confusing thing, but everyone knows how to use TV remotes. So I think that's what it was. And I think what's strange about that is, I think, like, you can use a game controller as a remote, and I find it better, just more comfortable, and it's not like it doesn't become difficult just because it's a thing that's normally used for games. See, even more. Street Fighter EX3. Oh, this is the game with the hyper 3D bars. Oh, it's really raining now. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, Street Fighter EX3. God, I tell you what, I'm glad I went to do my shopping at the time that I did, because that was soon after it stopped raining and before now when it's chucking it down. Street Fighter EX3, they rate that 3.5. And Summoner, it's hard to love this game. That's not good. There you go. Again, I'm not clicking on it. Battles can get pretty monotonous, so they rate that a 3. Wild Wild Racing. The causes tend to be a bit bland looking, and at the start they play a bit blandly as well. That's not good. And here we have... Oh, I've seen this ad before. Oh, I remember a friend of mine, the one who had Soul Reaver, I think he had this game, and I think that was on the back of the boxes. Who said fantasies had to be final? Oh. Bandicoot Last Party. So they've got some PS1 games here. As I said, it takes up one block. A nice little bit of information there. Army men. Crash Bash 3 at 2.5 one block. There's no real motivation to work your way through everything because you don't really feel any sense of achievement. And B, there's not enough variety in the minigames, although there's lots of different events for you to play. See a feature if you want to peek at all of them. Most of them are nothing more than slight tweaks to an underlying concept. You have 4-player Pong thing, a pogo stick, kicks, paint/painter thing, something that has some Pengo-ish elements, and a push other guys out the arena style game. A battle tank variant, something that looks remarkably like the old classic Super Sprint, and that's pretty much it. To be honest, I was expecting buckets of imagination and cool ideas. Instead we get the same few rehashes of old 8-bit games, with a few variations each time. To be honest, I think that's fine. I don't think that's like such a bad thing. Who wants to do this Crash Bash thing then? It's a party game, so it'll be fun. Really it will. As long as you like old style arcade games like Pengo or Pong. I've never heard of Pengo before. Well, Joe's showing my same sentiment here. Okay, what's Pengo? You were a penguin and you threw things at each other. I think Crash Bash is cool. I want to play. Game loads slowly. It's just like Pong. It's fun. Let's try the pogo thing. I really like this. I played it at ECTS and it was great. This is boring. I'm not having any fun. Shut up, it's cool. Okay, it sucks. So, they don't really like it. Oh, what games are they rating 1? Oh, there's a game they're rating a half there. So, Quad, ATV Quad Power Racing, and Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Oh, Breakout. How much did they rate Breakout? 2. But while fun, the whole game can be finished in about 2 hours, and there's little incentive for more than a handful of replays. If the multiplayer levels weren't so tedious, I'd be able to score Breakout a bit higher as it is, though 1 disc for each hour of fun ain't too bad in my book. So is it 2 discs for Breakout? Strange. Oh look. This bit here would have me like, oh, I've got to read this bit. This is the bit I would look. Anyway, mini reviews for mini games. Oh. So Tetramaster, not as good and more confusing than Triple Triad. Although Triple Triad got quite confusing when you got like the same and plus rule and all that. Not smart in my book, especially since the rules are quite complex. I eventually learned some of the nuances from XG's Slim Miller. But even then the game remained a mystery. Yeah. The incomplete score. Chocobo Hot and Cold. Frog Catching. Morganate. Now they rate that a 5. They'll ask you to deliver their missives, and if you do, you might earn some interesting things about the world you're in. Keep an eye out for the mysterious Stiltskin. Who'd have thunk that saving your game could be so much fun? Right, let's have a look-see. What a difference a year makes. Last October, when we reviewed Final Fantasy VIII, we called it a masterpiece, saying it surpassed the incredibly high expectations put on the game and stood far above the pack as the best PlayStation RPG so far. And now, after investing countless delightful hours in the thoroughly enchanting sequel, I can comfortably say the same thing about Final Fantasy IX. Unlike that one guy who was like, whoa, it's now medieval, I don't like it. The finest battle system, the most sympathetic characters, the most engrossing storyline, and the clearest art direction yet. While the music isn't the pinnacle of the series, I'm still partial to the finely crafted tunes in FF6. It is the best FF soundtrack on the PS1. You know what? I'm going to test something here. So I'm clicking and dragging, let go. Okay, click, dragging, let go. Now click, drag. Now if I'm down here and I let go. Aha, right, okay, I see. So if you let go on the bottom part, it doesn't register the unclick. Fifi faces an impossible decision. Would he be willing to sacrifice the future of his species in order to save the future of humanity? He shouldn't be saying spoilers, I don't think. He's like, oh, it's an epic quest of epic proportions. Marks the return of the job sister, which characters have different classes that encompass different skills and abilities. Yeah. Oh, and here we have Buzz Lightyear Star Command. My brother had this game. Cruel Bods 2001. Danger Girl, never heard of. What do they rate these? 2.5, 1 and 2.5. So Cool Bods 2001 has an embarrassingly limited trick set. You want to take short naps between jumps. While I'm on the subject of tricks, one of the so-called moves is named Sad Air. That pretty much sums up all the tricks if you ask me. They're sad, uneventful, and you'll find a sadistic pleasure in lip skidding your boring ass border into a plain of greyed over snow. Well, that's not very nice, is it? Donald Duck going crackers. A tightly focused platformer that's completely on rails. What? Completely on rails? So, as in like two sort of like... Okay, so yeah, despite being 3D, is as old school as it gets. It's basically tightly focused. So basically, it's 3 dimensions, but you can't... Like, sort of like Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot's version of the 2D levels, I get. 2D style levels in Crash Bandicoot is what I mean. 3 stars. Truction Derby Raw, they give 4 stars. 4 stars. 4 circles. Medal of Honor Underground. One team in Medal of Honor Underground has you riding the sidecar of a speeding motorcycle. The cool part is the sidecar is filled with a mounted machine gun. Now you can blast away Nazis at high speed. Or don't. And simply let your driver run them over. As shown in the lower of the 2 screens. Family Feud. This is known as Family Fortunes here. Where does a husband put things that he wants to hide from his wife? In the toolbox, I'm going to guess is one of the big answers that they give for that one. Something big, specific you always seem to be stepping over in your house. Husband's briefcase. Okay, that doesn't sound like an answer that many people would give. Fans of the show should dig it. That's to say the Family Feud is without its faults. Far from it. Step up to the podium, for example, and you're not likely to finish reading the question before the computer family buzzes in. Fortunately, this usually doesn't make a difference. When the answer a question like name something you turn down at night with hearing aid. But my biggest problem with Family Feud lies in its very practicality as a video game. That's exactly what I was thinking. Odds are you won't often have the 10 people gathered together in order to get the most out of the game, and you'll have to think up every answer by yourself with limited help. This makes things very tough, and remember, the fast money round requires 2 different contestants with the same questions. It doesn't work unless you have enough people. But if you're looking for an easy game for all your family members to get into fun to play together, Family Feud might just do the trick. And here's a game that I really like, FIFA 2001. And next page. Spyro, Year of the Dragon, The Grinch, Jeopardy 2. Jeopardy's similar to Family Fortunes, isn't it? Similar sort of idea, I guess. They certainly don't. In addition to 4,200 new answers, you've got behind the scenes interviews. Yeah, that would be strange because it would have to be, with it being on a console, it'd have to be multiple choice, wouldn't it? And the answers are questions. Gallagher. Managed to maintain a solid sense of familiarity. Nostalgic value probably won't hold for today's gamer. Didn't really like. Well, there's 2.5, not too bad. Average. Spyro the Dragon. I expect this is going to be high. It's going to be 4 or 5. 5. I wonder what the blue means. As far as the Q factor goes, forget it. One look at a baby dragon doing a funky chicken. Chicken. Ah, yes. Yes. Oh, open bracket. Yes, I'm serious. And you be, going right along with that gal of yours. Didn't Insomniac realise that we have pride? That we have dignity? No, they just had to make Year of the Dragon one of the most widely appealing platform games ever. Bastards. Right along with that gal of yours, yeah, so I'm making assumptions about the reader. Tut tut tut. Cruel variety. Oh yeah, so it's saying you can play as all the different characters. I had this game. I can't remember how far I got, but I think I preferred the first game if I'm honest. Knockout Kings, The Land Before Time. Yeah, let's just skip over that. Oh, Mega Man Legends 2. I know this was enjoyed by a lot of people. It's got a wonderful sense of humour, some wacky minigames and professional quality voice acting. The graphics may be a bit blocky, but they retain the 2D anime feel of Mega Man's classic adventures. Better yet, Legends 2 offers more of the same gameplay found in the first 3D Mega Man outing, but this time on a much bigger scale with tighter control and the greatly improved camera. The dungeons, though, are all very similar, so 3.5. So I know that was well liked. I feel like I'm sort of not as into this as I'm going through. I feel like I'm not like bringing up like as good points. So just sort of like thinking like let's get through it. I'm not gonna bother with the sports stuff. MTV Sports Skateboard. Well, I just said I wasn't gonna bother with sports stuff, but I see skateboarding and I'm like, oh okay. The lesson in physics is a perfect example of why MTV skateboarding is ridiculous. Go full force at a wall and you'll just stop. There's no animation to launch you off your board, which isn't a surprise since there's only 2 bail animations considering you do a lot of falling. Whether you're careful or not. I think this is going, yeah, basically, yeah, one. Did you give it 1? 1 circle out of 5. I've got some Muppet Monster Adventure and Muppet Race Mania. What do they give these? 4 and 3.5 could actually be the deepest kart racing game anyway. So why only a 3.5 rating? Quite simply, the loose controls take some getting used to. The graphics could use a bit of polish. It looks okay. I mean, maybe. Here we have Dino Crisis 2. And, oh. You have Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune 2 was to give 4. 4 out of 5. That's a lot. Well, there's another set of 2,500 word puzzles to solve this time. The standard studio setup found last time is replaced with themes like disco and great outdoors. I mean, you can't really change Wheel of Fortune, can you? I mean, the only thing you could really change is the amount of answers, like the answers themselves, and sort of extra like features like unlocking cosmetics or whatever. But the game Wheel of Fortune, there's really not much you could do to it, unless you were to make it like Wheel of Fortune something edition. But Dynasty Warriors 2, they rate at 4, which is very high. Dynasty Warriors 2 is very basic. I've not played it much, but I know that there really isn't much going on in it compared to later ones, but I suppose those ones weren't out yet. So it's mostly just an interesting, like, to see what, like it was like a new idea, I guess. Castlevania Symphony of the Night gets 5. Chrono Cross gets 5. Final Fantasy 7 and 8 both get 5. Crash Team Racing gets 5. Crash Bandicoot Warped gets 5. And Colony Wars gets 5. Yeah, there's a few. Flintstones Bedrock Bowling gets a 1. I had that. That was a weird game. And another pool game. I mean, okay, I've got to admit. This is interesting. And this is interesting. 25 new tables. I think, because you know you have like kart racing games where you have weapons and all that. I think if you make a pool game or something like that, then you could go for the like, make it very realistic and really focus on the physics, or you could just go all out and like say, right, it's a computer game. We don't need to go by the particular rules. Let's make a table that looks like a flower, and you just go with it. Oh, look at the small rules here. And MDK2, Armageddon, new for PlayStation 2. I mentioned before in the previous one of these that MDKs were a game I'd never heard of before. But look at all these. Let's have a look. Is there any? Oh, Madden. Micro Machines. Is that a 5? Metal Gear Solid. Ibs Odyssey is close. I don't know what yellow means. Oh, games do not indicate a greatest hits title. Rating in red indicates a 5 discs. Oh, discs. That's what they are. So, alright. So yellow is the greatest hits version, but they're the same game. Is it re-evaluated for the times maybe? So like, oh, we've had some time to sit with it, and this is what we think, sort of deal. Don't supposed to get 2, yeah. What is that? Triple Play 2001. Oh, Tomb Raider 2. Oh, 4.5. Tomb Raider 3. 3.5. MDK2 Armageddon. Oh, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. OPM's very own. Unlocking the sequel. Cruising to 100%. There's plenty to do in Tony Hawk's 2, and just stumbling around the various levels won't get you very far. This guide will help you get you through the tough parts. We can find the right ramps and rails to do most of it on our own. So, oh, this is nice. It shows you this is the Mullet Falls. Mullet Falls is a sweet introduction to the game Tony Hawk's World. The challenge is the same as the first game. Do it all in a two-minute run. You don't have to do all of it. You just have to do some of it. But this is the hangar. I do like these diagrams though, that they like superimpose over the map. I've always liked those. Oh, school. Yeah, so the school, like this little area here is like hidden away, and you have to like jump up the ramp to get to the other side. You got the hall passes and the bells. So these are just random like tips and sheets and stuff at the bottom, I guess. DVD Easter eggs, stuff on DVDs. New York, that's a couple stages afterwards, isn't it? Because what's after the school? Is it the first competition? I don't remember. Where did you start on this level? Because the New York level, my memory of it seems vague. Like I can remember it's a bit like one of the latest stages on Tony Hawk's 1, but I can't really remember New York as much. So you've got what are those? Oh, Joy Sculpture. The secret tape takes concentration to get a bit of practice. After a while, it's a breeze. You have to go along the railway lines. Hold on, let's have a look. It's very hard to make out. But But I think you have to like go along this railway line to get there. But I honestly can't remember, like, this bit here, I don't remember that at all. I remember, I think this bit here, there's like a rail that goes in, you got to do a trick on. But I feel like there's a stage between those two, other than the competition. Oh, maybe they just didn't show it. Track and field. Yeah, so they're saying like, look, this is how you're meant to hold the controller, so you can do the events. I'd rather be pissing off skiers. Pure ride. It's like the Goldfinger song, SMP. To reinstate the fact that skiers must perish. Anyway, I'm going to close the window. 1 second. Combined jumps, tricks and grinds in all new stunt mode. Right, nearly there, nearly there. Oh, is that Rayman, or is it, no, is he just invisible other than his hands and head? SXX unlocking bonuses. This colour scheme, I had a now that's what I call music CD as a kid, and I got it because it had Freed from Desire by Gala on it. It's 30 something, and maybe 32, and it used these colours, the blue and the pink. And so when I see that combination of colours, especially like on 3D shapes like this, it reminds me of that CD. It gives me that that nostalgia. So here are some codes for something from the previous page. If you're planning on earning any gold medals in the show-off mode, you're going to need a few tips to set you in the right direction. Show-off mode is the most challenging as well as the most fun element in SSX. You will have to master the course as well as your snowboarder in order to succeed. And what is this an ad for? Physical science? That's not the name of the game, is it? Anyway, Rage Racer 5, unlocking the Pac-Man challenge. Oh, we've got the ghosts. 1,500 miles unlocks the Pac-Man Grand Prix. In this race, Pac-Man has to complete 3 laps on the Park Town course. All 4 ghosty competitors use sneaky driving styles to keep our pallet goblin friend from visiting the winner's circle. So I'm guessing that's going to take a long time, I imagine. It's just a case of keep playing, and if you play for a very long time, you'll get it eventually, but you have to be dedicated. And here we have win over $2,500, $25,000 in prizes. Look at all these non-PlayStation things. The N64, GameCube, 2000. I don't know when that came out. I don't know what that is. Oh, is that a Dreamcast thing? There's a Dreamcast. I don't know. Look at this PC. You can unlock. You can win. Prize puzzle word list. So you have to find the secret word, right? So word that has a T in the middle. Water is the only one. So water makes that a T. L, the second letter. Blade is the only one there, so that's blade. So D, so T or D, Todd. Is it today? And S is the second last letter, coast. Yep, A. And then is it legal? Yep, today. The word is today. Oh, secret word clue. What comes after yesterday, but before tomorrow? Oh, well that, you know, like that is, you know, if this wasn't easy enough, like, what comes after yesterday, but before tomorrow? Oh well, I don't know. You make it too hard for me. There I was trying to put it all together, and then you just tell me the answer in heavy quotation marks, the clue. Of course, it's meant to be easy because they want to get lots of people to sign up. That's what it is. It's not like more people sending in their applications, sending in their submissions makes it more cost them more, because it's still going to be the same amount of prizes given away. Anyway, Chrono Cross. Second installment now, 2-part strategy. Check out November issue for the first half. Oh, how cheeky. How cheeky. Well, you didn't get the previous bit? Well. Oh. That has bad connotations. Look. LGBT people, LGBT millennials in the UK are seeing this and are having bad flashbacks. And here we have technology is all around you. Yeah. I mean, look. Laptops. Why is that advertising, though? Oh. ZDNet. Oh, this is more Chrono Cross. Is this the last page? Because there's still a bit more on the bar. So we have... enemies that have an innate. I don't know what that means. Is that like an element? Stolen items. Okay. Well. Strategy guides. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Oh, they're reviewing strategy guides. Interesting. And Parasite Eve 2. NFL Game Day. Threads of Fate. Since puzzles in Threads of Fate aren't exceedingly difficult, the only reason to purchase this guide is for help in defeating the game's 2 or 3 tough bosses. You'll also get a booster of enemies, a couple of useful sets of maps, a whopping 2 secrets, and a ton of info that you should know from the instruction booklet. Overall, it does a good job trimming your game time from 12 hours down to 8 or 9. If that's what you want to do with your hard-earned $15. I was going to say something, but I've completely forgot. So I'll move on. I'm not going to bother looking over the guide for Chrono Cross because it doesn't really... I know what it is. I don't really know what it means. I don't know the game, so there's nothing new for me to glean from that, I guess. Like the past 2 Monster Rancher games, Battle Card lets you turn an electric assortment of music and music game CDs to spawn unique creations. Oh yeah, that was like me saying like, oh yeah, like what game? What's that going to give you? So here it's telling you, like if you've got this, you can unlock this thing. Games. Name of game card produced. Alright, so if you've got... I mean, just a random selection. So if you've got Dead or Alive, you'll get Henja Thunderbolt. If you've got Deception 2, you'll get Busy Time. And look. Oh, music. Play as Tofu. That's... Is that a Resident Evil game? I think it might be. Hold on. I'm going to take a quick look. I just saw Tofu, and I think that's a Resident Evil game. Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2. Right. Okay. Now, oh, see, we're back to 200 out of 209. Nothing here to look at. On sale now. Oh, Pokemon? Are you missing something? Pocket Games and DCM magazine. I might actually look those up. Only on newsstands. Only on newsstands. Each year, the hard-working editors of Electronic Gaming Monthly create special edition magazines such as the Video Game Buyer's Guide, Pocket Games, or DCM, the unofficial Dreamcast magazine. Alright, I see. Can only be found on the newsstands or through back order. Look for the Video Game Buyer's Guide 2001. But that's like, Sega's a competitor, so I don't understand. I mean, they must have something. Anyway, what have we got for next month on PlayStation Magazine, on the US PlayStation Magazine? Gran Turismo 3. Tomb Raider PS2. Oh, the Angel of Darkness. PS1 and movie news. Weak Judo. I don't remember that being a move in Tony Hawk's 2. I remember Judo. Is that like standing for sloppy? Cause I remember you had sloppy. Editorial content subject to change. Advertiser index. Ah, this is the index. Okay. Ooh, the accessories. Let's have a look. So, DVD remote, RetroShock 2. Is that wireless? Ah, wireless PS2 controller. Look, a carrying case for your PS2. Oh, what is this? Licensed PlayStation 2 console. Oh, hold on. System selector. So it looks. I mean, it's got the PS2 like design, but is that for like switching between different like cables? I guess so. Vertical multi-tap. I've not seen that before. I have seen a multi-tap for the PS2. I never had one. I had the PS1 version. Extension cables. Replacement 3-pack DVD case. 8 meg memory card. So is that's just a memory card, isn't it? Just a PS2 memory card. Vertical stand where you can put the games in those slots there. DVD controller storage. Oh, do you remember you used to get like these stands where you could like hold so many games in as opposed to putting them on a shelf? That was strange. Anyway, it's hard to say uncle when you don't have any teeth. Uncle? It's hard to say uncle when you don't have any teeth. I suppose Ultimate Fighting Championship. Your competition into submission as an authentic UFC fighter. Ultra realistic full contact bouts. Are you ready for it? No. And is this the end? I think that was the back. Right, that's the end of that. And as you might have heard throughout this, I am hungry. My stomach is making noises. I am hungry. So I'm going to stop this recording. I'm going to set this to upload and go and get some food. I'm surprised it took less than 3 hours, you know. Like, it is not much under 3 hours, but I thought with 209 pages, this is going to take a lot longer. This is going to take like maybe closer to 4 hours. But I suppose there was quite a few double page spreads this time. And towards the end, there was a lot of pages towards the end where I just did not find anything interesting to talk about. So maybe that's why I managed to get through a bit faster. But now it's time. Take a break. Stop the recording, upload it. And thank you for watching. And I will see you next time. Bye.